Welcome back to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
Welcome back indeed. I'm Dan.
So we got Pabone on the line. Do we got any intro for
I
Pabone?
lost the original bounce.
Yeah.
I lost that because remember we upgraded our computer right before Christmas.
With Pabone.
Okay,
You
Sam,
got that?
Sam's in charge of writing a new one. In fact, you and your husband
I like that way
are
better.
more than happy to record what you just sang. That was, you see, Pabone already likes it. On the line with us is artist extraordinaire and a man that Tom likes to wear out by giving him crazy ideas to draw. And then do you ever pay him for said wastes of time?
I can't remember things like that.
Eric
That's
Pabone
good.
on the line. Eric, real quick, where can people find the art of Pabone?
Hey, what's going on, guys? Art of Eric Pabone, PABON.com. You can find all my stuff there.
Boom.
Pabone, before we get into some ideas, some shirt ideas.
Oh, man, you know what I should use for this and not even use a theme? We should just play Bonin' in the Boneyard by Fishbone. Got me boning. Got me boning. No? All right.
I don't know the song.
I'll see myself out.
Who let the dogs out?
No.
That's all like that.
We're not, no.
Pabone, you know how, like, you either can sing or you can't sing for the most part, and maybe...
Is that an analogy in some?
Maybe you could sing a little bit and you can get a little bit better through technique and through practice, but I feel like if
Your diaphragm, working on your diaphragm.
like I'll never be able to get good at singing because
You
I
will.
just have a genetic...
No, you absolutely will. In fact, there's a brand new Tom song that will be debuting on this week's Friday Free Show.
What does that mean? What is that?
Is that true?
And,
It's absolutely true, Pabone, and it's just for you. I'm dedicating it to Pabone.
So is that, you think that's comparable to art or drawing where, like, no matter what, even through, I guess through some practice and technique, I can get to a certain point, but I'll never pass a threshold. You know what I'm saying?
Here's the thing, Pabone.
It just seems like I don't...
Pabone, here's the thing. Tom says, and you know he has said that there are very few tasks that he can't at least get the general idea or be able to tackle if given 2 weeks practice. The only problem with the scenario that you've thrown out, timeless. I mean, you've done this for years, Tom. You've been saying 2 weeks I can do pretty much anything. You've never tried it. You've never actually said, okay, my task is X, and here's 2 weeks, and I'm going to go do it. You've always claimed, but you've never put it to the test.
Well, except
You have to put it to the test. So why don't you try singing for 2 weeks? Why don't you take lessons? And then in 2 weeks' time, we, the audience, will judge whether or not the 2 weeks. Because now I'm tired of it.
No, that's it doesn't work with singing, art. It doesn't work with a lot of
artistic things.
Natural talent. You know, I'm talking about filling a cavity or like
Filling a cavity.
you know,
Oh, I got
or being a pharmacist. You know what I'm saying? Like it was like the general strokes of the job.
Oh,
or
that's
whatever.
my name. That's my porn name.
General Stroke.
General Stroke.
Like sewing something, something that
Sewing something.
you know, you could actually teach me. Like
Oh,
I
you're
feel like
sewing something all right now.
We could teach you how to Dougie.
Pretty sure we'll be reaping.
Tom, here's the deal, man. Like, let's do this because, you know, we kick around these ideas for shirts. Why don't I give you a few lessons, and the next T-shirt that you guys put out can be your design?
Okay, now we're cooking with Crisco. Now we're warming the grease.
okay.
This is a great idea. This guy hates fun. And a couple of days ago, Pabone, I almost got him to round a corner, and he was almost into fun. But right now, I can see him regressing. Look at him. Look, he's touching his forehead. He's touching he's slapping his sunburn. Yeah, stop touching
Put
your
some cream
sunburn.
on there.
Yeah.
You got to put some cream on that thing, dude. It's a red hot crackle
Starting
red.
to crackle.
And it's starting to, you got a zit on it now
Extra red.
because you didn't wash it and you let that sunburn grease sit on there all day.
It was my face was too hot to put in hot water. Like I went
take
to go
cold showers.
wash my face,
Yeah.
and I was like, "Yeah."
Once the tough and his sons can't put warm water on a sunburn. All right. There it
Anyway,
is.
So now with lessons, Pabone, and I know maybe people are tired of me trying to figure out like how.
Let's hope not. We got to ride this out for
But-
about 20 more years.
So I've seen on YouTube, and sometimes like my sons, especially Tommy, who has the art gene or whatever.
He's a good little artist.
As opposed to like he's just interested more into it, but he'll go on one of these how to draw like a puppy or Sonic or whatever, and it'll be a tutorial.
Right.
And
Yeah,
it'll,
Maisie
like,
does those.
Start with the circles or whatever. Like, is that what you mean as far as lessons? Because
No. We got to get you in touch with your emotions, man. That's
no,
wrong.
okay.
We-
Ooh,
yeah,
draw
yeah.
art therapy.
What does that have to do with anything, Pabone? You're talking about wife. Like, I just want you to.
What if you could draw your
appreciate
wife?
me and
What if you could draw your own soapy butt by pouring your emotions into the
Oh,
paper?
draw her like a French girl.
Yeah. Would you draw your wife for a bit? I'll draw Andrea nude. I'll draw Andrea nude, and I'll try my hardest.
Yes.
You draw Crystal nude and try your
And
hardest.
Pabone's the judge.
The BDMs are the only people that get to see drawings, not reality
Right,
drawings.
right.
They're the only ones that get to see it. You have to sign up to see our drawings. They will vote winner. Loser gets tattoo of drawing on their ass. Let's do it.
why?
Bet me.
Why?
It'd be kind of weird if
Baby,
Tom
you
had
little-
Andrea naked on
Little
his butt.
bitch. You little
Oh
bitch.
my God.
Why?
Spicy Tuesday.
I've always wanted to yell. I don't know what that means. It made Butler laugh.
I did for a little bit like get aggressive. I was like,
I liked it. I got horny when you turned to me. I know what your wife wants now. When you turned to me, I was like, this guy's gonna ravage me. I can't wait.
I did.
My God.
I
Bite my neck again.
I want to bet you. And I think I'm pretty sure I can win. But okay, going back to you saying you have to get in touch with your emotions, and that's the element of art that I can't do. I don't understand. Whatever.
Right.
Like I can understand that. Hey, draw 2 circles and draw 3 circles, then connect them. Like
Yeah, one circle. If you get one circle, you get 2 circles. 2
Yeah,
circles, you
yeah.
get 4 circles.
Right.
4 circles, 8 circles.
And then
It's not that you got to be a super emotional cat. You just have to figure out what you're trying to say. So if you're trying to say, "Hey, I view the world as a robot," you can express that in art. It's just a matter of figuring out how to.
You're
put
actually
pencil to
better
paper to
at
do
this
that.
than you
I
think. Let
don't
me tell
want
you
to
something.
express anything.
I'll use a real world example from one of our friends in a good BDM. Summer Aiello, her daughter Paigey, right, is a really, really good dancer. And then some people ask, how does she dance like that for her age? How is she able to do that? How is she able? It's like you're watching, you're like, oh my God, tell the story. You're supposed to tell the story. You do that all the time, man. You are a natural, if not the best storyteller I've ever met. All you got to do in
Nothing to do with
art, like
drawing.
Pabone, when Pabone draws, he tells the story. Pabone, what are you working on recently? Like, give me something. Your Swamp Thing was beautiful.
you need the talent to
thank you,
figure out how
man.
to
Yeah.
draw.
Yeah, but
It really is a parallel, man. It's a lot like what you guys do with the storytelling and just going down this crazy road of improv.
How did you walk
it's a
me
similar
through?
feeling.
Okay, like you drew Swamp Thing, and then you kind of it looked as if you had infused different types of like plants into it, and you gave it like almost a more imaginative and lovely spin rather than a grotesque and kind of horrible spin. What were you thinking about when you were telling that story?
So I was always inspired by the cover of this comic. It was Alan Moore's Saga of the Swamp Thing, and there was this kind of beautiful painting on the cover. So yeah, I'm always referencing things that were like important to me or that I really liked. So there's elements of that in there. I kind of wanted to just make something sort of sad, and he's got all these flowers growing out of his back, and it's beautiful and it's spring, but he can't really enjoy it because he's a swamp monster.
Yeah,
So
and it's behind him too, which I thought that was very interesting. That even though he is bringing joy, he can't enjoy it himself. I thought that was really good, dude.
Pabone,
Oh, thank you, man.
what do you think the most popular piece of T-shirt art is in general? Now, this is a hard question, but like
Misfit shirt.
Well, I was
Misfits.
gonna say that.
Yeah.
okay, well, okay.
Is that what you're trying
yes,
to? Oh,
yeah.
wow.
Like I'm
Dude,
going.
that's gonna be
Or
hard.
Rolling Stone.
I'm going custom art.
That's gonna be hard.
Like now band art that,
Ooh.
but like beside band, like there's like the Big Johnson craze, right? That was some custom
Amy
cartoon-
Warhol images.
You know what? I think I know it. I bet you it is the classic "I Love New York" shirt.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a good choice. That or the smiley face.
Oh yeah, I remember. Have a nice day. The Have a nice
Yeah.
day.
Oh,
Yeah.
the guy that ran up to Forrest Gump. That's what I know.
Even I had that. You know, I had a poster of that Have a Nice Day thing just to show you how different times were. I had a fluorescent pink poster of a smiley face in my room, and it said Have a Nice Day, but the smiley face had a gunshot hole through its head, and there was
Oh.
blood running down its face.
Yeah.
Spencer's Gifts?
You Spencer's Gifts indeed.
So-
Trash child.
Now, I kind of put that into iconic branding because the I Love New York is more. Even though
John
it's
Lennon
art,
kind of sold that, right?
but it's more of like a brand that's sold. Like the art, I'm looking into like a stereotypical custom, like the Rolling Stones and the band art, the Misfits art, the Big Johnson art, the No Fear art, the stuff. I feel like there was a time where T-shirts. Obviously, because of the lack of internet, everything was more popular universally.
Seth should do a line of clothing with Babone called Bro Fear. And it's all about
Yes.
maximum fear in big dudes.
What do you think it is about certain things that catch? I know this is impossible. I'm asking stupid, long.
No, there's a
thing.
science
But like
behind
Assault
what your eye finds pleasing. I think there's a science behind it.
So, like, why did a guy Harvey become more popular than anything else? I know a lot of it's marketing and the happenstance and right place, right time. And no, he has got like a beautiful fish art, but it's like that became. It's just why brands become popular. Like that was the back in the day Salt Life. Like if you were a Guy Harvey represented,
Well, yeah.
you like the
it
outdoors.
wasn't necessarily that you love the art. It just represented
Lifestyle.
something
Yeah.
that you're like, I like eating and catching fish, so I wear shirts that have the same ones I catch on them,
I
drawn
think
by
you nailed it, man.
Yeah, I think it's very
it's
simple.
just about what you're trying to put out there. People want to be recognized for. Like I see a lot of Misfit shirts out in the world, and that's a band I love. But it's hard to strike up a conversation about the Misfits with anybody in a Misfit shirt because seldom do they actually listen to that band. So I think it's just about what you're trying to convey.
Yeah, like they're not wearing the Misfit shirts
bizarre.
to tell you that I love listening to to
has
Danzig.
nothing to do with the band
I don't
anymore.
like. I was listening to them this morning. I was listening to what is it? Where Eagles Dare. It's you don't wear that shirt if you don't know who they are. You wear it to let other people know that you want to be considered a bit of a rebel or a bit of an outsider or a bit of a
Right.
different person,
Yeah,
right?
you represent some sort of brand
So it's a way to
association,
categorize yourself, sort of. It's like you put that on so other people see it and go like, oh, well, this guy might like Green Day occasionally.
Yeah, it's odd how that I guess for lack of a better term, like the science behind or the psychology behind those how the hell does the Misfits and probably their deal with Hot Topic and the popularity of like getting it out at a certain time.
I think you could thank Jerry Only for that, and we know him.
Yeah.
That he always made really sound and good, I think, business decisions, and it also helps that he's not. None of those guys are drunks. And I think traditionally right out of the gate, most bands, if you're a straight edge band, you've already got a leg up on a lot of other bands because you're not going to get sloppy. And when you're not sloppy, I think sometimes you make like better business decisions, which is why he has Jerry only bobbleheads and jackets. And the merchandising for the Misfits is ridiculous.
So, Pabone, I know that we're working on something right now.
What?
And we're planning on having some of the Pabone-inspired ideas, shirt ideas, available at
Are we going to like do
Sunshine
a launch?
State.
Are we going to do it? Like we should call it Tom and Dan by Pabone.
yeah.
It should be like a thing.
Yeah, and
Like when you do a collaboration, like right now, the designer Coach is teaming up with the athletic brand Champion,
Really?
Yeah, and it's kind of cool. I like it. A lot of people are giving it a lot of hate, but Champion's really in right now. The kiddos love the Champion.
Oh, it's an iconic
Yeah.
brand.
When I was a kid, Champion meant you were poor.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, oh, yeah, you're a champion. You're a champion of the welfare.
So
It's terrible.
we are partnering with Sunshine State Threads, which is right next door to West End. Paul Williams, our buddy, owns Sunshine State, and I know they've got some Tom and Dan shirts in there already, and we're gonna have some Pabon-inspired Tom and Dan shirts available, where you could just walk in and get them. They'll be on the rack, and I know we
Pret-a-porter, I believe that's called.
I
Ready to wear.
I loved your Unfortunate Voltron shirt. And that kind of leads me to my other question, where it is everything so out there now, and there's so many people putting stuff in art and brands and like that. Like when you make an Unfortunate Voltron shirt and we sell it, does it even matter that we're referencing Voltron and like putting
Oh, you mean
the
as
image
far as people coming after us?
No, I don't think it's so small. I don't think that exists anymore, right? It's like whoever owns
It's kinda-
Transformers.
Yeah, like it's one of those things that a lot of artists worry about, especially in the comic convention scene, because we sell a lot of, they call it fan art. So it's like my take on a Star Wars or a Batman or something.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's one of I guess in theory, those big mega corporations could come after you for that stuff, but I don't think they view it as smart, because, something like that gets in the news that, hey, this guy who's making less than $40K a year selling, his Star Wars stuff gets sued by Disney. It's just not a good look for them.
Yeah.
So I have to assume that they just, let it fly, and all it does is spread their brand. It's just, more brand awareness. Not that they need it, but it's. I think that these big corporations just kind of look at it as free advertising at this point.
Yeah. Also, there's a certain amount of like how much money are they actually making? So it's more expensive to pay one of our attorneys $1,000 an hour to draft something or even waste their time. That kind of thing.
Right.
And I know that changing a character or whatever, a certain percentage, then it's kind of free use at that point. Like there's comedy.
There's satire. And, and then like fair use typically has to do with like audio or video, because you're going to take something that was originally not yours, and then maybe you're giving a review, so you're allowed to dabble in that. Typically, if you're going to use it to make money, they don't like that.
So, Pabon, do you have any shirt ideas that you've thought of in the past? I know that we have the Operation shirt that a lot of people like. Some of these shirts, Pabon, I can't even remember talking about it. And then when it comes out later, I'm like, don't even remember us. That's brain damage.
They're all
or
new
something.
to me.
We just do too many shows.
Yeah. That's because I'm like, I don't remember Operation.
The key is we do too many shows, and then the other part of that is that we mislabel all of them.
Yeah.
So we really just, and I said this in the, it's so funny we're talking about this. I said this in the actual notes to yesterday's video. I said, I look at all shows now as just shows. I don't look at them as a time, as a place, or anything. What I'm doing right now is what I'll be doing until I die, and it's just one big show, so just get it where you can. That's what I say.
But the ending is
Sad. It involves family members not talking to each other, a bitter battle for control of some of my own, original ideas. My wife and daughter are just, they're killing my brand.
So Pabon,
well, I have a running list of Tom and Dan ideas, and if you guys mention something on the show, especially you've gotten into the habit of saying my name a lot when an idea pops up.
Yeah, we just scream.
Hey, it's branding. We're getting the name out.
We just scream Pabon.
Yeah.
Some of it is just to bully you, I think, because I know because I know that someone's gonna say, hey, they were talking about you, Pabon. They said this shirt, and then you'll be overwhelmed because
It'll be the death of them.
Yeah. And then you're trying to catch up, and then I want you to hate it, and then you're like, I hate doing this. Then you question being an artist at all, and you're like, my mom was right. I should have been an accountant. And then then you have some sort of reckoning, and you're like, no, I will be an artist. And then it's just a cycle over and over.
But then your hands
really
get
put a lot of thought
broken.
into this.
But then your hands get broken.
Tom's greatest dreams is to destroy other people's dreams.
Your hands get broken, and then you're like, I have to do something different. So you know of a scientist that's only done this in Belgium. You fly to Belgium to tour his facility. When you get there, they put a helmet on top of your head, and you realize that you're going to be able to use a pair of robotic arms and just your thoughts to be a sculptor now, and you become the first ever mind-controlled robotic arm sculptor.
But then...
No, that's too much work. I just paint with my feet.
Paint with your feet? There's girls that do that online. I've seen that.
Hold on, Pabon. Do you think...
Can you paint with your feet?
Do you think you could draw better with your toes than I could with my hands?
Hey, every week we'll give you, tape a pen to a different one of your body parts and try to draw my face, and then we'll judge them all.
No, like, seriously, have you ever tried to draw with your toes, like putting a pencil in between your big toe, whatever, and like,
No,
if we're
that
gonna
would make me
do
a crazy
this,
person.
shouldn't
I have
he draw
tried
with
to
his
draw with
butt?
my left hand versus my right, and it's a mess. So I can't imagine it would go well.
Okay, Fairville and Megastore, we need a strap-on, and we need a jumbo Sharpie. Pabon draws with his Pabon.
Have you ever seen Mila the ass artist?
I have. Have you ever seen Picasso?
Oh, yeah.
Picasso, he paints with his and Mila the ass artist, she just all over the canvas.
It's so bad. It's so bad.
It's so bad.
That's not art.
Because I'm like, you started with blue paint and...
Also, it's like, nobody is asking for this. Nobody.
Mila, I'm going to ask you nicely to please give me a warning if you're using red paint.
Samantha, can you look up Mila the ass artist and see if her
Don't make her do that on her computer. Use Butler's computer. Look up Mila the ass artist on Butler's computer.
See if any of her pieces are for sale. I want to buy one for the studio. And then
let's buy one, and then you try to paint just like it. Let's start selling counterfeit Mila the ass artist paintings.
Oh, man.
If you can duplicate her ass art perfectly, then we can start selling counterfeits.
I could do it with just like putting paint in my mouth and
spit it on there.
Yeah, it'd be close.
Well, wait a minute, then you could just be Tommy the mouth artist.
Yeah, but not as
It's not as good.
She films what happens.
Yeah,
and then it's. I think it's.
How come we have never thought about this for a punishment for Butler?
I don't know.
To make him paint enema. You fart on that canvas.
We should start doing that. Although it's like. I because the Neanderthal in them.
Yeah,
it's like Fidel Castro. They get the drippy mustache.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's like your tail's wet, sir.
Anyway, Samantha.
I'm seeing some interesting things here. Nothing quite yet to buy.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Well, maybe, it might be out of our league.
Yeah. Maybe it's just about the video. Sorry, Pabon.
It's funny. There are a lot of people. There is Pabon, maybe that's your angle. There is a lane in art where you have a very select few that paint with their own genitalia or body parts. And
what is that, Pabon?
That's
that
a
seems
mental
like
illness, I feel like.
Novelty. Yeah. Dude, those people, I don't think they're successful.
And it can't be good for you, right? Like lead-based paint and you're dunking your dork in there all the time. I feel like after a while you'll go mad and kill your family, right?
No, you get the.
That's how you kill your family.
You get the
They're like,
one.
Why did Daniel go mad? Because he painted with lead-based paints with his penis for 20 years. He went mad.
I do like
his whole blood. Everything in his blood was mercury. The guy went crazy.
Yeah. I did like back in the day where you just get poisoned by
and then you'd get to do fun stuff like tear up an entire city or village.
But you'd go mad first, but you wouldn't just get cancer. You go mad before.
They wouldn't say you were a terrible person. They wouldn't say you were the worst. They wouldn't say you were a garbage man. You would do whatever you did, and they'd say he was the Mad King. That's not that bad.
But did it make him go insane? The amount of lead
syphilis
in his system?
did too. For me, it would be lead and syphilis.
Yeah,
it pushed me over the edge.
Probably mainly syphilis. The lead just bad for your heart.
In this scenario, I'm a 72% syphilis. I'm feeling it.
Do people still get that syphilis?
Syphilis?
Yes.
Pabon, do you get syphilis?
I can't speak personally to it, but I'm pretty sure syphilis is
I
indeed
think
a
that's
thing.
an old man's disease. I think that's gone.
It doesn't seem like that many people get syphilis anymore.
You don't
right?
hear about syphilis anymore.
No. You know, barely. I remember herpes was real bad.
Everything has got some sort of strange possession. It's herpes,
Anyway.
syphilis.
She has moved on from
Oh.
painting
Okay.
to
Oh, was she dead?
there's food products involved.
I remember the transition.
Is that the meal of the ass hardest fruit roll-ups?
Oh yeah, it would go like there's pineapple. It was a thing.
Oh no! Okay, I'm exiting out.
Pineapples.
No,
Yeah.
this is too far.
So,
No.
at a certain point, I'm
Cannot
like,
watch
it's not
Pineapples
good.
can,
Cannot
depending
do
on
that.
which way they're sitting, they can only go one direction.
Shave the spikes. Anyway, sorry, Pabone. Throw us one idea, and we'll say yay or nay.
I'm gonna throw up.
All right, let's see. And you mentioned the list and not remembering it. I don't remember half of this stuff either. There's stuff on here. I have no idea what the context is.
Okay.
So I'm just going to run through a few
All right.
things.
All right.
Oh, I got an idea.
Does it involve a pineapple?
I just needed some time, and he did 2 seconds.
Oh, just needed some time. You did it. I mean, I
did.
can hear it.
Okay, because I look at a lot of
Whoa.
plants
Oh.
on Facebook, I get a lot of plant ads. And then we got a BDM Growers and Showers group that's going big. And then I'm involved in this Facebook group called I'm High and I Like Plants.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
Or something like that. It's like,
Yeah.
But it's got like 50,000 followers, or it's like
Yeah,
insanely huge.
Yeah.
And it seems like plants are super popular. So I feel like we need to get into some plant T-shirts. In fact, I bought a plant shirt. And
I wet my plants.
yeah,
we
yeah,
know.
yeah.
Hey,
I love wearing it.
Okay, trees are good, right? And they give us oxygen. What if we did Planet of the Apes logo, but it's us as humans planting trees, like for Arbor Day, and it says, plant it for the apes.
Oh, yeah, that's going
It was
towards
a huge stretch.
yeah, and also, but you get the animal.
How
lover.
about this one?
Uh,
My kid's autistic. What the hell's wrong with yours?
no, yeah. On the back,
Yeah.
Then on the front, I'm
On
trying
the
to think,
front, it just says "Buy American." I feel like it's.
we need okay, I'm a snake plant. You have to look that up, Ramon, and then like a long snake plant because it's tall or whatever. And then
You're not that tall.
You're
well, no,
really
because
not.
but in
I don't want to
comparison
be
to
a
Daniel,
fiddle. I don't want to be a fiddly fig.
And
He's
Daniel,
gonna make you the fiddly
and
fig.
Daniel's a big, wide fiddle leaf.
I knew it. I knew it.
Oh,
And so me as a
And then
snake
growers
plant,
and showers or what?
well, just some sort of plant theme. Tom and Dan plants. You can look up some plants. There's a bunch of them. There's a
great.
split leaf philodendron. Huh?
This
Such a
is your
terrible idea.
worst idea.
Yeah, this is the worst one.
There's a plant theme Tom and Dan shirt. I'm
But you're
telling
giving
you.
him nothing.
We
All
can
you
make
said
it
was
work. We
snake
can make it
plant.
work.
Well, I'm doing the whole thing where it's like I give you just a tiny bit. It's really nothing.
Okay.
And
as
then
long as
I give you
long as
that.
How-
Butler's in the background and he's like a marijuana plant, we can make it work.
How about plant tulips on D's nut?
Okay, we're good.
I got him back in. I got him back in.
I'll go 90s.
I knew it. Look at him. He's having a. Are you hyperventilating? He's so happy now.
Maybe Daniel's a tiny succulent, like a little
Ooh.
tiny
I know what
stubby
that is.
cactus.
Oh, stubby cat.
Yeah,
I'm just a tiny little succulent, just a little stubby cactus.
And I'm a big.
I'm a sassy little stubby cactus.
Like my face is in like a split leaf philodendron design. Is a big broad leaf.
He's not writing any of this down.
No.
Then Samantha.
Oh God.
Oh, maybe Samantha, big cactus.
Oh man. Oh man. I want to touch the spike so bad.
I'm sorry, Samantha.
We could have ended a long time
Yeah,
ago.
we could.
Yeah,
I just looked at the
yeah,
time.
moving
I'm like,
along.
there's an
You're running out
Why
of
is
steam
it
over there on your plants.
unnecessary 8 minutes here.
So, yeah, we could have just made this very tight, but
I said that to my
Yeah.
wife. Yeah, I said, "Man, we could have made this very tight, but you didn't want the stitch. You didn't want the stitch. I needed the stitch. That's all I wanted. My God. Every day. She's 6 years old, no stitches.
all right, Pabone, where can people find your art again?
Oh, hey, artofericpabone.com. Got prints for sale, commissions if you need something custom. hit me up. The Valentine's Day rush is over, so I got lots of free time. Anything you need. And thanks for having me on, guys. I appreciate it. I look forward to seeing those shirts at Sunshine State Threads.
Yes,
buddy.
We'll announce to everybody when they're available, but we'll start coming out with some of these designs we talked about, and they'll be, you can just go buy them off the rack at Sunshine State.
I'm ordering a Mucho Mediocre shirt right now.
Oh,
So-
yeah, that's a good
That's
one.
gonna look
Yeah.
good on your Mucho
Go.
mediocres. Those are not mediocres.
What
Those
happened
are
to us?
Mucho grande.
No, hold on.
What do you call that?
Can't do that anymore. This is not
Yo
This is not-
quiero Taco Bell.
2014. Oh, we hung up on.
Yeah, I did.
I feel like in 2014, which
That
seems
was
not
the
that
sweet
long
spot.
ago.
It was the sweet spot.
You can still do all that, but now, no.
Yeah.
more.
It was like right about the time that all men started getting traditional old school haircuts. That was the sweet
Yes.
spot.
yeah.
When all men went a little,
That was what I got
Yeah,
from
everybody
Stooge.
went like everybody was like, "Wow, your haircut is so proper." You know, I haven't seen a haircut like that since the Nazis. And it was like, and there was like
Yeah,
a split second
Nazi
where
youth.
everybody had a really sharp haircut, and then there was it was like we had reached nirvana, and then now it's all back to normal. Good, it's good now, better.
All right. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be right back with more Corporate Time with Tom and Dan.
Welcome to another Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Dan.
I'm Tom.
Samantha's here. Butler's here. You know what time it is. It is time for another Weird Job Wednesday. And we are always looking for people that you might have an interesting job. You might have a job that you don't think is very interesting. Maybe you hate it. Look, every job to Tom and myself, I believe, is even just a little bit interesting.
Yeah.
Every job.
Yeah. It has some interesting component.
Absolutely.
And in fact, if we can't find something interesting about it, then
We'll buy you a new job.
I
don't know
I
what
think
that
that's
means.
when you actually win. Like,
Yeah.
you stumped us. Because I'll talk to anybody
We should
about their
have a
job.
prize. We should say if we don't find your job even 1 ounce interesting, we'll give you $1,000 cash. Text the keyword to. No, I'm kidding. Let's do this thing. Tom wanted to do a bit. He called it Weird Job Wednesday. Dan really likes it. Tom says that's bullshit. It's another Weird Job Wednesday. What are you doing? What is your job? Are you neat? Are you tidy? Or are you a fat slob? Do you make lots of money and you sit up in your tower looking down on all the people who are working by the hour? It's a Weird Job Wednesday. Just another Weird Job Wednesday. Oh yes, it's Weird Job Wednesday. Just another Weird Job Wednesday. Thank you, Tom. Thank you.
Weird Job Wednesday brought to you by StreamlineFlorida.com. If you're looking to refinance or get a mortgage, talk to Brian Zymel and his team. They have done hundreds and hundreds of BDMs
I think
mortgages.
I've refinanced 100 times.
Yeah, I've done twice. Listen, the interest rates are great, so just talk to them because it could be the best business decision right now for you to do.
It can get overwhelming, but Brian and his team do not allow that. They walk you through it, and
it's super easy.
super easy. Every step of the way, they will hold your hand. It's StreamlineFlorida.com.
So on the line with us right now, who do we got here?
Phil.
This is
Also.
Phil.
Phil, how you doing?
Doing well. How you doing?
Good. So what is your job, Phil?
So I'm the chief marketing officer for an AI company.
No.
All right.
So you build what is eventually going to crush our skulls.
Yes, Skynet on its way.
Sweet. That is really neat, man.
So-
we've been wanting to talk to a guy that dabbles in this type of space, right?
Yeah. So let's start from the beginning. How familiar are you with how AI works?
So actually, I'm on the sales side. So I know how my AI operates, but how it actually is put together on the back end, I have no idea.
Gotcha.
Now, can you give us like the general beats of how like AI operates, or like give us the synopsis?
I can tell you what we do. How about that?
Okay.
Sounds
I'll
good.
start with that. So we do pre and post hiring
for organizations. So we have a pre-hiring job board where a candidate comes in and they do a series of assessments. Once they go through the assessments, we can better align them with the proper role. Because one of the issues that organizations have is they can select the candidate through their resume based off of skills, but they're not sure if the person will be successful within the team. So we actually have a team cohesion algorithm that the AI determines who the best candidates would be for the position based on what you're looking for. And then we have an OKR, which is objectives and key results, which is like a project management system on the other end. So once the employee comes in, they're hired, then we can start tracking that process and the success rate of them, as well as make recommendations within the team to who's going to be most successful within certain projects and how you can arrange a team, things like that. And the AI will make is making tons of recommendations based upon bettering the team cohesion of the organization.
Okay, so basically they're just trying to figure out how to, I guess, be more streamlined with organizing their workforce and placing the right employees in the right place using an algorithm of information and continuous data that will better their hiring process.
Exactly.
Exactly,
yeah.
So now everything is obviously becoming algorithms, and we're seeing it in everyday life with advertising. We're seeing all the ads being put in front of our face based on what we search and what we talk about.
I mean, we're even trying to dabble in it here by making our ads dynamic and making them so we can change the region of them. And
it's becoming way more personalized, and and companies are realizing, like, okay, maybe our hiring process has been a little bit old school, where it's up to one human to interview a group of humans based on some BS resume, and then they just pick based on their subjectivity, because it's, they're taking human element out, kind of,
which is great, because think of how
we're removing inherent bias from the system, because every individual has at least 150 biases.
I've got more.
Every single time.
Well, I mean,
I guarantee you, I've got at least double that.
I know exactly.
I may have more.
I remember when I
left. Just remember that's the average.
When I left terrestrial radio, your next intern was a hot blonde. I know how you operate. You don't hire because you want to get things done. You hire because you were sad.
Also, I go off stereotypes. I go off my own personal experience only.
By stereotypes.
I go by small personal experiences that I put, and then I throw out a broadcast net to this type of person. Is like, all right, I had an experience with this type of person. Everybody's like that. I'm sorry.
Is that how your software works?
So we're removing those biases. That's one of the big things. We're removing, there are many biases that can come through the application, as well as we have facial recognition technology that's actually analyzing 81 points in the person's face to where they can tell whether the person is being honest or how certain they are while they're answering a question, things like that. But it's also removing the racial bias, the gender bias, and things like that, which, a human just, no matter how much they think they have the ability to do that, they don't. They will have biases. They will come out of that with the smallest things that can, set a tick and set somebody not hire. Or, some people even hire based on pedigree, whatever, hey, you went to Harvard, I'm going to hire you because you went to Harvard and I went to Harvard, right?
So
things like that are being removed.
Do you think, now, does the algorithm take into account your schooling and your experience and that kind of thing, or is it mainly...
So actually, it does not. So that it takes that into account and it narrows it down. But right now, for instance, right now we're offering to place one person for free within an organization. So if you guys are interested, we'd be happy to place somebody. But the way it's working right now is it's actually being done, hey, grab the top 5-10 candidates that you have coming in that fit the skill set, and then we'll allow our algorithm to determine, who the best fit is. But down the line, yes, it will. We're still a startup company. We're still going through a lot of a lot of the stuff startups deal with, so we're not quite to the point we want to be, but we have a plan to get there, and the algorithm is functional. We have over 600,000 people that we've taken. Actually, they're college students. They're from Penn State University. Professor John Johnson provided us with that information, and that's kind of guided us. But now we're looking for more data, so the more companies we can bring on, the better off the AI will actually be in the long run.
Good day, class. My name is Professor John Johnson, and I specialize in boring names.
I wonder if I put my information or my resume into this, what kind of jobs that I'd get offered.
Bugman.
Because
First, you'd have to learn how to spell resume.
I'm not joking. I don't think I've ever been offered a job by
Have you ever written a resume?
That's actually impressive if you've never had to write a resume.
No, I started to when I
farted and forgot. I don't know what you're gonna say there.
And then I yelled at Crystal maybe I should write a resume.
Help me make one of these resumes.
When I left Clear Channel. Because I was like, I don't know, this cockamamie idea doesn't seem like how could it work?
What,
this company. Like I was like, no way this works.
Oh, our company?
Yeah. Like I don't know what I'm doing. I have no education training. Even though I have a business degree, it means nothing.
And
Can't remember one thing.
And I just try to ruin it.
I'm not joking. If you put a gun to my head, if you said, remember 5 things you learned in college, I'll be dead. I could remember 3. I remember the salt thing.
And get to 2, get to 4, to 4 to 8.
And we're actually interviewing some guy that he's a listener and he's in UCF Business School, and his business project is up for like a national competition amongst all the his
and you're
tea
gonna ruin
company.
it?
Yeah, but also, I'm gonna give him my business advice.
Nice.
You don't have any. You said you don't remember anything.
He'll think of it before we talk to the interview.
That class he is in, that Blackstone or Cornerstone or something. I think it's called.
It's not Blackstone. Blackstone is a grill.
Okay,
so you're wrong there.
I don't remember one GD thing. I don't even remember one class.
Well,
anyway, sorry.
But you did remember the Blackstone griddle cooktop.
So, Phil, if I put my information in there, what do you think? Like, does it go out to all that's hiring? Is it kind of like a one of these monster?
So only if it pertains. Right. Only if your specific skill and cohesion fit with the company, then a recommendation will be sent out to that company. But we like to start. So let me just walk you through real quick. You would do an assessment test. So the assessment test, once you go through that, it utilizes Holland Code and the Big 5 personality test.
I love Holland Notes.
It will then. What's that?
No, I thought you said it activates Hall & Oates.
There you go. Yeah. So along those lines, and then we end up taking the personality, and it's broken down.
Remember, I wouldn't have to do this if you were more interesting.
How dare you?
No,
that's a joke. It's a joke.
Totally
I'm kidding.
I totally get it.
I'm kidding.
Zero interesting.
Phil,
I'm kidding, Phil.
Phil, I think my old school interview process could beat out your computer. I think it's time for, how they used to do this in the 1980s, man versus computer.
Who's stronger?
There
grizzly
you go.
bear?
Butler, get in here. We're going to reenact the interview process.
I am very intrigued because you did not interview me for my job.
No.
Well, you kind of did it. Mellow Mushroom.
You just walked through the door and they said, you're hired.
Yeah.
We had a drunken conversation at a pizza place.
Yeah, and I was surprised you even wanted this job. So I was just like, you got it. All right, this is the setting. You come in, but pretend the couch is black, and I'm in a weird office with nothing on the walls, and then I have a desk with nothing on it. So that's the scenario.
Okay.
And you are in here for your job, but let's pretend we don't know each other, and then let's start.
I've seen this porno.
So, stand up. All right. So, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
Good. So, I see your resume here, Travis Butler. So you are white, correct? You're white.
I like this olive. I like to say olive.
Okay, I have to check. Also, here is a pencil. Sell me this pencil, and let's see if you got the goods. All right.
You're watching two improv masters.
First, sir, this is a marker.
Don't. God damn it! You ruined it already. Why does Butler have to inject his own joke?
He's a chopper.
He's the chopper.
Why can't you just go along with my thing?
I'm going to tell you what happened there. You started to do improv with Butler, and you let him take control. And you can never let him take control.
No, I did.
You know what?
You got to steer the boat.
I almost said the F word right there. I almost said you're effing weak.
No,
You're weak.
I
You're
did
weak,
the old
man.
90s thing where you embarrass the intern and
weak.
you make him struggle.
You let him steal that from you.
No, you do the 90s radio thing where you're like, bring in the intern, and then we'll watch him flounder on the mic, and then we'll say silent.
Yeah, but he didn't do that. He
he didn't go
You
with that.
handed him a pencil, and he's like, oh, this isn't a pencil. It's a marker because you're an idiot. You let him take control.
Okay, well, I didn't know I was dealing with Michael Scott. That's my fault for hiring Michael Scott.
Truer things have never been said.
Sorry, Phil. So what do you make there for your job, which I still don't understand what's at all?
Well, he
He
sells
I'm
the
in
nerd
marketing
program.
side of Sales. Honestly, we're a startup. I started there last year in August, so I've been working on the funding and bringing in the beta clients. We went through beta in early January, and we're continuing that. We are in production at this stage, but we're still getting some case studies together for investors and stuff. So we have a WeFunder campaign that we're running right now. We hit our goal, but we're at 50,000 now. We're trying to reach 400,000. That's kind of been my job right now, is making sure that we have funds to continue this, because we've got $210,000 in from family and friends and the owners of the company. Ooh. So that's kind of that kept us up. And now that the algorithm is working and everything seems to be going smooth, we're starting to bring in those clients, and we're doing a second round of funding, which has been fairly successful.
Now, Phil,
that's exciting,
I
man.
know there's gigantic money in these kind of businesses, because I hear like ZipRecruiter obviously advertises on every podcast I listen to, and from what I garner about podcasting rates and the advertising they do on these shows, I'm like, man, ZipRecruiter's putting in hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars in advertising. Like they're paying a lot.
I'm more of a Blue Apron boy myself.
So, so that tells me, I'm like, they must be making a lot. So this kind of like software must be valuable to giant corporations, and they must pay a lot of money. Like, is that basically you hope to get in with like a Sony or like some gigantic corporation that
Home
using,
Depot.
and then you charge per the size of the company, right? So they, at a company like a Home Depot, they could be charging $30,000 a month for your.
That's whatever. Like
right?
MailChimp, you get a Disney, you get a Home Depot, and then you get Capital One under your belt, and
that's it.
And then everybody else is just incidental passive money.
So is that how the business model works?
Yeah. Basically, it's a monthly fee that's based on the number of employees, and you pay per employee, and it's tiered. So larger organizations pay less per employee than smaller organizations. Correct.
Okay, so
but it's actually not that expensive. I think right now our mid-level 500 or less is only $8.50 an employee. And when you think about hiring a single employee, that costs about between $4,000 and $5,000. So
yeah. No, that makes sense. That obviously you want to do this and you want to do it right, and then if you can,
take the human error out of it and then get the actual best qualified candidate. How do you get? And I'm sorry, this will be my last question, but the lying on the resume and all that. How? It seems hard to weed out.
Vet it?
Yeah, well, it seems like only because it seems like that's hard for a computer to do. Like I'm looking at like what a human can actually do better than a computer.
This is a weird coincidence, but I got a call 2 days ago from a friend of ours that put me as a source.
Oh, really?
And I answered correctly. Old radio guy that we'd worked with, you and I, that friend of ours, and he's a great employee. But it's just weird because I didn't think people did that anymore.
Yeah. As far as
First of all, I don't think I've talked to a human being other than my wife on the phone in the last 3 years.
Right.
Yeah, but like you could see, like a human will be able to see someone's job history, and then you start seeing like gaps that you're like, that's kind of weird. Why didn't they have a job for a year and a half here? And then like you start seeing things like that raise a red flag in a human's mind. But I guess you could just teach the algorithm to look out for those things, right?
Yes, so actually at this point now, anything on the resume we're taking as gold. So if you say you worked at Oracle for the last 5 years as a senior partner, we're going to believe you, whatever it is. But this is more cohesion-based.
Wow, you might want to write a second algorithm.
I like that honor code.
Yeah, that's pretty good. But I mean, like, seriously, if it's like Harvard Law, and I'm like, all right, impressive. You're in.
All right, Phil. How much do you make over there?
So actually, I own a digital marketing company, so that's really how I make my money. I also started a disinfecting company last year because the marketing company started to tank about March, and that's how I make my money. So I had to do something, so I started a disinfecting company,
Nice.
and that's how I really make my money. But if you take all those into account, right around 120.
That's great.
Right.
So you
don't seem to be afraid of working.
Yeah,
I can hear it in your voice. You like it.
Yeah, you got a bunch of different cockamamie things.
What's interesting though,
There would have been more with the Pokemon craze that's happened. I had a full first edition set that I believe my mom tossed when she moved.
Oh,
yeah.
I can hear it in this guy's voice.
How much Dodgy coin do you have?
Yeah,
you got a lot of Dodgy coin.
I feel like you and Tom are very similar in the idea that, like, I don't think you guys would ever not have a job. It'd be like, even if something didn't work, you'd just hustle and find something else.
Yeah, but they're all like a cockamamie. They're also like,
that's been my whole life. Yeah, that is the point. It's craziness. I mean, as soon as I realized I could make money off sanitizing, I started that immediately, and I think the first month I did like $30,000 just. I mean, that's not all profit in my pocket, but, to do something in the first month like that's just crazy. I mean, I was doing everything right.
I do that around here, but I lie to people. I just put water in one of those spray bottles that you spray,
they don't know.
the ones you
Fine.
pump, and then I just carry a clipboard and then that pump, and every old lady in this goddamn neighborhood believes me. And I spray them. I spray everything.
You put Corona with a crossbuster over
Oh
it.
yeah, all you gotta do is put some sort of red tape on it. So I go in there and I say, hey, do you want me to disinfect your ceiling fans? It keeps the Corona off you. That way, when you're running them, it doesn't blow the virus right in your eyes. And they're like, I spray them all down. That's $300 a house. $300 a house.
Yeah.
I'm friggin' loaded right now. I don't know what to do. I bought a second spray bottle.
Yeah. So, well, Phil, you'll be good. Yeah, I think you'll just move on from one gimmick to the next your whole life.
Yeah.
But then you'll look back. And,
The thing that you have going for you is that you will always survive, but you will also always be forgotten.
The chances of you
I'm hoping Voda AI is my legacy because they gave me a % of the company, which is the way they pulled me in because I had originally said no.
But I mean, the likelihood of this really...
That's going to do it. That's the end. I'm not going to go to any more cockamamie jobs like wherever else. This is it. This is my long-term retire with my % of the company and call it quits.
But you know what's really awesome? A gun that shoots salt. That's where the money's at, Phil.
Yeah, that is where the money's
because
at.
we talked to that guy, he's just as cockamamie as you, and that guy's rich.
Or I want to talk
rich.
to. You know, I want to talk to who is stinking rich?
Who?
Mr. Funko Pop.
Oh yeah.
This MFer took dolls that aren't even that great, They do nothing. They have no functionality, and he just licensed everything that you think you like, and you'll blow $30 on them a pop, and you'll have hundreds of them.
Yeah.
And they do nothing.
And they cost pennies to produce in China, right?
I look like a crazy person.
Mr. Funko is, that guy's just, who invented Funko Pop, and how much is that guy worth?
They probably got bought out by some toy company, right?
Well,
Like,
Funko is the company.
Funko is a toy company.
Oh, yeah.
Good job, Pop
Well,
Pop.
I don't know. That's just
Mike Becker founded.
Oh,
F
man.
you, Becker.
What's his net worth?
Good for him.
You know what? You're a
You
better
know,
person than me. What's this
yeah.
guy's name? Phil. Phil,
Yeah.
you know what? You're a good man. Have a great day. You're our winner, okay?
Oh, sure. All right. Thanks, guys.
Well, what did you want?
Oh, you want to say your all day,
what?
Phil?
That wasn't very believable.
What did you want us to do, Phil?
Unbelievable.
Oh, you want to come in here and want me to massage your feet?
yeah.
Got a goddamn show to run, Phil.
Yeah, we got to sit on
We got stuff to do. This place is like you may have enough time to jump on the line and take a phone call and talk about your silly disinfectant job. We got a big time podcast event to run, and we don't even know how we're gonna pull it off.
Well, I wish you the best of luck with that. It's not my problem. So
I'll get you. I'll get you, Phil, if it's the last thing I ever do.
It is your problem, Phil. We're going to start adding your name onto the
Yes,
show.
it's now called Phil's Big Problem. Come on down. Buy your tickets now.
So you're going down with us, Phil. All right, we'll talk to you.
Hey,
soon.
we love you, man. Be good.
all right. Thanks, guys.
All right, take care.
I'd like to point out that Phil is not familiar with our program. He is just a cousin of Zach from Ohio.
Oh, I thought.
Yeah,
you know,
I
I saw
wondered why
Zach
those
say,
jokes
"Hey, my
weren't-
cousin is
Yeah.
going on." The
I
show.
knew those jokes weren't landing, and he was highly offended.
No wonder he thought we were crazy. I was like, "What
so
are you?"
you mean to tell me we just put a stranger on a radio show and we yelled at him and made him? We abused him.
And then,
We harassed an old man on our
and then
Now that's a Tuesday, everybody.
his cousin
Or Wednesday.
His cousin Zach's like, "Hey, I got this radio show. They'll help you promote your software
and your disinfectant wand.
It did nothing.
I'll tell you when to put your wand,
Zach,
Phil. Yeah.
Zach, you are a horrible
Why don't you
person.
Well,
disinfect your
the way
small
he sold
intestine,
it to
Phil.
me was he said he's a co-owner
Co-owner.
of an AI company
He's got
valued at
1%.
$9 million.
He's got
and I was like, that'll be interesting.
1%, like Tom had 1% of the Predators.
So we got bamboozled.
We did.
Yeah,
We did.
It's just
You know what? I take it back. That guy does not win. It's our first ever non-winner.
Oh, wow.
I've never
He's
done
the
that.
best guy.
We've never had a week where
I
we.
liked Phil.
Yeah, I like to be. I'm gonna hire
Oh,
him in Redcoat.
you guys are all ganging up. How is Redcoat?
Doing pretty good.
Did we? When was our last? When was our last quarterly report
Oh, yeah.
for Redcoat Media? I want to see some spike numbers. I want to see what's
Well,
happening.
the spike numbers are happening. They're just with helmets.
Oh yeah. Yeah. How much growth have you seen in the first? Let's see. I started writing your checks at Redcoat about a month and a half ago. So
Really? I thought. How long has he had Redcoat?
years?
Oh, I thought
years.
Man, I swear to God, I honestly thought you guys were joking around about that.
No, it's a years.
right.
But so what are we talking growth wise?
For those that don't know, Butler has his own LLC called Redcoat Media. Now, when people buy your art, is it a Redcoat Media production?
Yeah, sure.
Is it does it have a different name? Do you call it something like?
I mean, I'm moving those funds over into that
okay.
Redcoat account.
Moving the
Yeah.
funds.
Moving some monies around.
Yeah.
He got
Shut
that from
this
Tom
up, yeah.
Van's business school.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. If you can get, if you one spike, you get two
Two
spikes.
spikes,
Yeah.
2 to 4, 4 to
Yeah,
8.
yeah. And then what you got to do, and seemingly what I think is the best business move, is you got to start convincing other people to invest into Redcoat Media, right? Follow me here. And then when they invest, and you promise them a certain amount of dividend return, you're like insane amount, right? Then you pretend to be rich or whatever. And then when they invest, you buy whatever you want. And then you need to pay these people their dividends because you promised them. Then you just get new investors.
Yeah.
And then you use their money to pay the first investors dividends. Bingo bongo.
Have you been on my computer?
Infinite money.
Yeah, never
Infinite
ending.
money.
Infinite money.
Why'd you do it?
Money Dracula.
I am Money Bagula.
Oh, bye-bye.
Blah, blah.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan, Samantha, and Butler are here. Hello.
Let's do some Who's Pork.
Alrighty. Oh, God damn it. I did it again.
Mm.
I just hit the wrong button. If you're watching online, Sam has a brand new intro that was made by Owen. Shouldn't have said that as my rhyming word because I'm not feeling like I'm flowing. Haven't been rhyming words very well. I kind of feel like my brain is rotten. And I get tired in the afternoons.
We love Porky! Yeah!
Who's Porkin'? Brought to you by Porky's Barbecue in Apopka. You want some delicious barbecue? Go right back. Porky's Apopka.
I was trying to figure out what that last part was supposed to
I
be.
get really sad in the middle of that one. I don't want to talk about it.
Someone we've had on Who's Porkin' a couple times, I believe, at least once for sure. Megan Thee Stallion.
Ooh, I love Megan Thee
She's got a
Stallion.
new boo.
Oh, I thought you were going to say she did some plastic
She's back
surgery
on
or
her
something.
feet.
Okay, good.
Even
All
after
right.
the injuries. So now she is dating rapper Partisan Fontaine.
Partisan Fontaine!
Goes by a party. He posted a bunch of photos of their extravagant Valentine's Day on his Instagram,
Ooh.
where he rented out a private jet,
Oh.
completely covered in rose petals.
Oh, this is what Tom did when he took his wife to the ocean deck Daytona Beach.
And he had a custom menu where the title was called Party and the Hottie. And he had a custom menu of all her favorite foods and desserts. He's really stepping up the game here, guys.
So
Yeah, stupid.
I obviously never heard of this person.
Partisan Fontaine.
But is he super famous, rich? Is he
He's
new?
He's a rapper.
He's got a shoe collection called Bipartisan.
Not true.
So,
But she confirmed it on her Instagram Live. She does Instagram Live quite a bit on. So she did one on Friday, and because a lot of people have been interested in who she's dating. There was the infamous situation where she was in a car, possibly with someone she may have been dating. She claims they weren't. He claims they were. He shot her in the feet. You know the story.
I don't hear how could any of that not be true? All of it's true.
Yeah.
Why are they? That's ridiculous.
so
And is she going to become Megan Fontaine?
Well, she's claiming him in that Instagram Live.
Cool.
She's like, he is my boyfriend.
How
Straight
is
up.
it?
And
Is
then
it-
people are
is
like,
he good? I've
it's a
heard the
lot of-
name. I don't know.
I haven't actually listened to any of his music either. But a lot of people were giving her like some flack because they're like, oh, you're supposed to be like hot girl summer, like single. And she's like, I never said hot girls couldn't have boyfriends. So
And nobody's saying the degree of this. She can claim whatever she wants to claim.
Yeah.
It's her life. Yeah, I'm with you.
Good for Megan Thee Stallion.
like if you rent out did it say where they're going on the
It
jet?
did not say where they were going.
So I think
I literally think they just flew around in
Yes,
the jet and ate lunch.
Well, that's
Yeah.
stupid. Why not just keep it on the ground? Safer and you don't burn the fuel.
I
well,
don't disagree.
You pay for so there's this service. I've heard of this before, and I
They
think
probably have it right over here at the executive
Yeah,
airport
yeah,
because
yeah.
they have all those luxury jets.
so. Where if you want to fly in a private jet, I guess they realized like, all right, we've got a certain amount of business from businessmen and important people that want to rent and fly private to
But
certain.
we're missing the mark on these mumble rappers like Lil Fleek and Lil Peep and Lil Deke.
Or anybody that has, $1,200 that wants to rent our jet, and the pilot would just take off at executive airport, make one, infinity pattern, and
I
fly
can't,
back
I can't
down.
even eat one chocolate-covered strawberry in that time.
But you just fly around for an hour, and then technically you have all the pictures. You're like, I'm on a private jet. And you can claim you rented a private jet, but you're not going anywhere. You're just
Right.
flying around.
But still,
and
that's
going-
got to be expensive,
Oh,
right?
very.
But I don't think it's it's in
Probably
the
less than we think.
well we probably could look it up right now but it's not as expensive as flying to a destination, obviously, because
Do we have an aviation group for BDMs?
don't
I don't
think
think there's
so.
enough pilots. But
Not even helicopters, because that's a redneck game.
I know my sister-in-law's got a friend who's a BDM who's a pilot, and we've had other BDMs contact us that are pilot, but I think it's probably a dozen maybe. I don't know, enough for a group. But it's a brilliant way for these plane owners to make side money, because a lot of times these planes are owned by multiple people or a company,
Right.
and they just rent them, So if you can get the money of like, all right, if this plane's not being used Monday through Friday, but then you could rent it out, and then you minus the fuel cost and the pilot's time, like, hey, how much for a pilot to take off, fly a circle, land? It's a couple hours of his day.
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
You start narrowing it down, and then you could charge probably like $1,500,
A lot of
$2,500.
a lot of what you're paying for is the availability, meaning you are qualified, right, to do something that's very rare. Like, you see what I'm saying? It's not everybody can just jump in a plane, take off like a car.
Oh, the pilot.
Yeah, so there is a premium price on just having the availability
Right.
of said license, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, to fly a jet, you have to have X amount
Sure.
of hours, obviously, and have and a lot of us ex-military or former commercial airline pilots and stuff.
Oh, we have a pilot in our Twitch chat room right now.
So
I was just going to ask, like, what it would cost fuel-wise if we're burning it for, let's say, I wouldn't take it up for any less than 3 hours or 2 hours. 2 hours.
Yeah, it's
If
like
we burn 2 hours worth of fuel, what is my, I just want a ballpark cost
It
jet
says
fuel.
you can expect to pay between $1,300 and $3,000 per flying hour on average for
Okay.
a low-cost private jet.
That's not that bad.
dude, right there. I was like
Yeah, you were
$1,500
on
to
it.
$2,500
You were right
an
on it,
hour.
Yeah. Good.
So,
You're always good at that, though, dude.
but if you want to act like you're big shot and have
Or
big
maybe,
money.
ballin'?
or maybe you just like the planes or something. I don't know.
Yeah, but if you, it's kind of like that documentary on HBO, the fake famous one. It's like everybody wants to portray something, an image, or whatever. It's always like, it's the I want to be portray that I'm rich and
Yeah.
this lifestyle and stuff like.
There was
and-
the whole thing with Bow Wow where he took a photo
Oh.
and posted it to Instagram.
You
and
just
said he
didn't-
was in a private jet.
Apparently
but-
there's-
Didn't need to do that.
There's some sort of company that's just the inside the fuselage. Easier for
What's
me
that
to say.
now?
Fuel. God damn it.
have a
Fuel-
stroke.
Yeah.
Here you see
God.
a man who had a stroke learning his first words. He's trying to say the word fuselage. He has just been taught. He's not talked a single word in over 30 years. Fuselage.
They took the body of the plane and they just sat it there, and then people can go take pictures inside of it as if they were inside
Like one
a
of
jet.
those, like a photo space. We have one of
Yes,
those
yeah,
here
yeah.
in town where it's like, hey, we have a room and we put a tub in it, a claw tub with a bunch of rubber duckies in it. You get in that and you can pretend like you're taking a very whimsical bubble bath.
Yeah.
So, okay, is it corny to a person of Megan Thee Stallion stature because she obviously more famous than this guy? Right? I've heard, yeah, and
Like
way more
infinitely.
rich, right?
Oh.
Way more rich and famous. So
She's like the hottest thing now.
she can afford and probably does fly in private jets to destinations. So
You know what? She strikes me as the type of person that would, but doesn't necessarily have to. Does that make sense?
So to me,
I don't even know that she would.
Yeah, she's kind of down to earthy.
to me, it's like not that impressive, even to her as a date, a Valentine's Day date, to take her in a private
Oh,
jet.
I see what you're doing.
You know what I'm saying?
You're throwing it in the same category as limo, and you and I have always said that there was, again,
Yeah.
a sweet spot for limousines where they actually mattered.
So Megan Thee Stallion's net worth is $3 million, but I'm sure that's gonna slow. That's gonna
Oh,
be.
no, she's
bumping
brand
up.
new, man. Like,
What do you
we're-
think Partisan Fontaine's net worth?
Oh,
is?
am I wrong?
Under
Were
a
we
Her
wrong?
new boo.
Under
We're
a
wrong then,
million.
weren't we? Is
No.
he? No.
300,000.
Maybe $500,000.
100,000.
Oh yeah. So
You
this
might
guy-
have borrowed that jet.
I,
from
well,
a friend.
I got bigger net
She
worth than
is
that.
Slumming it.
Yeah,
she
yeah.
is slumming it. Well, no, just take the price of his house. It's worth more than $100,000.
So
Yeah, oh, man.
So you could potentially be dating Megan Thee Stallion over there.
Oh, my God.
That's a big soapy butt.
Yeah, close your eyes and dream about that for a
I
second.
couldn't even
Oh
handle
my!
it.
Oh, it'd be so
I-
fun though to try and fail.
so my point is,
She's oh.
This is kind of the equivalent of me taking my wife in a broken down old limo to Daytona Beach. Well, in the
It
fact
really
that
is, man.
because it's
Ooh la la.
yeah, it's got the air on the outside of fancy, but
Right.
technically it's just you rent it out for 2 hours for.
But it was the thought that counts.
$4,000,
And he had a custom menu, party in the
You
hottie.
can print that on our printer. That'll cost Dots
Tons
Matrix.
of flowers. Those are expensive.
Yeah, but that
Not a Walmart.
Yeah, but that comes with like this is a package you buy on the internet. It's like, and then the custom menu is just a printout that they say like you got five
with a custom chef.
5 options.
That serves
Custom
you.
chef, that's his cousin.
But the chef probably works at the executive
His
airport,
cousin
and then
works
he put,
at Applebee's. You warm up some riblets in the microwave in the plane.
I'm
This
just
guy's really trying to show out for his girl.
It's kind of like half-assed. It's,
It is a little
It's
half-assed,
cheapo. To a person of Megan the Stallion stature, like that. Like if you're trying to impress my wife, or you know what I'm saying, like
With Megan, now follow me with this. Now she may have loved it. I'm just going in my own fantasy mind.
If this is-
she may have liked something that you maybe if you didn't go the cliche plain flour chef deal, maybe if you went something I don't know, creative or different, or maybe if you you did
She's
something
richer than
that
you.
she really like, you'd have to find something that she loved from her childhood and then reignite that memory.
It's like
then you got
if you're Paris Hilton's boyfriend and you got her the suite at
She's
a hotel.
engaged now, by the way.
No, but I'm saying that you got like I
He's
got
right,
you
yeah.
a
I'm saying who's porking.
yeah, I got you a
the
suite.
Yeah.
Like, she's like, who cares? Like,
Yeah.
I grew up in these suites. Like, I've literally lived
Yeah,
in
this
these
is
for
the most
years.
boring place you can take me. So that's what I'm saying. Is like Megan Thee Stallion would probably prefer. Like, okay, great, another plane, wonderful.
Yeah,
How
it's-
about you
it's
take
not-
me someplace I don't know? How about a dune buggy
Listen,
and a jungle?
if I took Mike B on a date and I took him on a private, he'd be like,
Whoa.
ooh, la la, wow. Like,
If you
yeah.
took him in a car, he'd say, ooh, la la, 'cause he can't drive.
He'd appreciate
yeah,
it.
It would blow his nose ring
Megan
out.
Thee Stallion doesn't care. Who cares? It's another private flight.
Does it change your mind at all that his original rapper name was Party McFly?
And they're stupid.
I like,
This
I
guy's
like
a
that
corn-
name better.
This guy's corny, and his
Yeah,
Hold
he
on.
originally
ideas
his original
stink.
rapper name was Party McFly, which I think is funny because then he rented a private jet.
Wait a minute.
But he changed it only because he thought to himself after he rapped for it with a few years, like, you know what? If I want to be famous and like do a song with Jay-Z, he's not going to do a song with Party McFly, so he changed his name.
Oh, yeah. Well, guess
What,
what?
is this a white guy? No, it's
No.
a real question.
No,
I mean,
he's
it
not.
sounds like
he's just a big Back to the Future fan.
Yeah, guess what?
Okay, all right.
You'll never do a song with Jay-Z.
Yeah.
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 So anyway,
Well, I'm happy for. I think they're good.
Now I want to get Mike B on a private plane.
Oh boy,
it's like
Nose rings.
he
in
is known for his
space.
helicopter.
But you understand my point where the like it has to be a novelty for that to be worth it,
Right.
right? Because like if you're just gonna rent the private plane to fly around in a circle and land and have lunch in it, it's gonna be like, whoa!
I think it's more of the actual planning and being romantic than how much it costs or anything like that. Because if it's Megan Thee Stallion, what are you gonna pay for that's gonna impress her?
She has
Like,
access to pretty much anything
right.
she would ever
So
want.
it's
Yeah,
not
well,
about how much you spend.
Yeah, no. I'm not saying because he can't afford it. I'm saying why go for luxury?
Yeah, because
then
he's saying
go
that she
opposite.
has that. You
Yeah.
should go with what is more meaningful. He's right.
Go Daniel's route. Go creative. Go something like something she hasn't experienced.
Not only are
like-
you giving her something, you're giving her something that she is more capable of getting herself than you are because you don't have the means and ways that Megan Thee Stallion does. It'd be like if Tom does well with our company because our company's doing pretty decent. But it'd be like if you went to buy I'm trying to think of like your most wealthy friend a gift.
Well, I'll
It's
equate it
stupid
to
to
this.
go for anything that he can get on his own with his own money because you're never going to be able to match up.
What about this? So say it's Valentine's Day. I want to get Crystal some sort of, and then I come up with the idea. All right, we're gonna go on the Winter Park Chain of Lakes pontoon boat ride, and then we're gonna like stop somewhere and have lunch or whatever. But it's like, all right, I take my wife on the Winter Park Chain of Lakes pontoon boat ride, and then I'm sure she'd appreciate it, but she's like, well, we have our own boat.
We could have gone anywhere. Right.
This is not a novelty experience. Now, if you didn't have your own boat and you don't go on boats that much, then it's like, oh, this is something, it's a change, and I don't normally go on boats, so this is cool. The same thing with the private jet. Like, I've never been on a private jet, so this is why having lunch on one, flying around in a circle, is novelty and fun. But if you've been on private jets 20 25 times,
Yeah.
then it's not
that fun.
much. You take the novelty away, and even the idea of
You
it
know
being
what he should have
romantic.
done? I got it.
Because the idea stinks.
What's this guy's name?
Wow, party.
Party. Okay.
Partisan Fontaine.
Okay, Partisan, I have.
That's a young, dumb person move.
I
Wow.
have.
I used to do it.
You want to impress Megan Thee Stallion, you got to go different than what she has. She's really hot right now, kind of collabing with everybody you can think of. Here's where you go. There is a very, I don't know how many of these are in North America. I'm going to say under 100. You find one of those pedal trolley cars that people love. You pedal the thing from bar to
I
bar, but
hate
you can
that.
drink
Oh, God.
and you do that.
hate
Those are the worst.
Yep. Pedaling trolley, drinkable trolley bar.
Please never invite me to one. I don't.
There's
I
one
think-
in Sanford.
What's fun about
There's-
this?
yeah.
Driving
There's
around
one
and
in Sanford. Now,
drinking.
I had a
I
theory
could
that
do that in Sanford. Don't you know?
Right?
I have a
Don't
theory.
make me work for it.
I have a theory about this pedaling bar that they have in Sanford. I have a feeling that if I sat at the bar, I couldn't reach the pedals. So it's the perfect bar for me. All I have to do is sit, free ride around Sanford.
It's
Pretty
one of,
awesome.
It's one of those ideas that on paper it all makes sense, it all lines up, it looks cool, everything. But when you're on pedaling with your beer,
No,
you're
I
like,
don't
why
wanna
are we
do
doing this? Why are we doing this?
Oh, Tracy-
I'll just walk with the beer.
It's called the limo cycle in Sanford. It's actually really fun. She says they just got a boat that you pedal.
Oh, God.
There's 2 seats in the back with no pedals. She's been on it, and she reached the pedals. But you were, how many White Claws were you? You had 25 White Claws. You're just sitting here sleeping.
Bye-bye. Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
My name is Reginald, and our producer, Samantha's here.
We have EJ on the line. Let's just
So,
jump right
guys.
into
Do you
it.
just want to jump right into
Just do it.
some
No
EJ?
warm up.
Jokes on all of you. It was me, Dan. I've been here the entire time, and we're gonna do some nerd jock now.
Nerds. Nerds. Nerds.
Jock, nerd, jock, nerd.
Nerd Jock with EJ. How you doing, EJ?
Good. Did a comedy on Saturday with both Rosses, Ross Padgett and Ross McCoy, and I had a great time. I haven't done comedy in a while, and it was a really fun set to do at the Bull and Bush.
I like that picture of you too. You were like mid-action shot. You had on the jacket, the ring, you had your microphone, and you
Yeah.
were like in the middle of delivering a joke. And I was happy for you, man. You had a look
I
of
got the bug
pure
again.
delight on your face.
Yeah, it got me the bug again. I want to do more comedy some more.
Well, you
now.
picked the best time to do it too.
Yeah, during the pandemic. Yeah, it's always good.
But no, all kidding aside, I was really, really stoked for you, man. I'm glad you got back out there.
EJ, here's why I'll never see you do stand-up is because
Is this a good thing or a bad thing?
I don't know. It's because I'd be so awkward and scared that you would do a bad job, and then you
But
would
that
look
just
at
shows
me.
how much you care for him. This is not a bad thing. That
No.
shows how much you care for, or maybe that shows how much you care for yourself and your own feelings.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're like my mom. My mom doesn't want to see me do comedy either, and I'm kind of glad because I think I would pull back a little bit if she was there.
Also, maybe she's afraid of you failing like
Okay,
I am.
okay.
That's really
Yeah.
I just
So
am
she thinks I'm
convinced.
going to do a good job like you. Okay.
Yeah, and just like your mom, I want you to do a good job, but I know you won't.
Wow. All right.
Yeah, because I know you and your mom knows you, and how could it be good?
Yeah. I mean, you can't even put a fence around your pool.
I feel,
And stop putting me in the Facebook group. Every time someone asks for a fence, don't tag me. For the
That's
love
just
of
going to
God.
make
I
them
don't
tag
know
you
how to
more.
get a
You know
fence.
that.
I
don't know
I
how
don't
to do
tag
it.
you in any fence. I don't care whether you get a
Not
fence
you
or
guys,
not.
I'm saying
Oh.
the BDM group. Anyone into the BDM group, don't tag me.
it shows you.
We need a fence sponsor.
Well, it shows you there's I think like the fencing world, big fence. Mm-hmm. I don't think that there's either that
There's no
much
time to
margins
listen. No, there's no
or
time
that-
to
No,
listen to-
especially now, all of the fencing supplies is like astronomical.
There's no time
Is
to
it?
listen
Yeah.
because you're
Every-
too busy fencing.
People build.
Did your wife not notice when she bought wood for the wood chandelier how much the price of wood has gone up?
I saw that. Yeah, the price of wood is skyrocketing.
Well, that's because we killed all the trees, and there's a finite
it has to do with the pandemic.
number of them.
And,
Yeah,
and
They're price gouging.
we're using the wood to make masks.
well, no, it has.
You can't cover your nose with a 2x4, Tom.
It's just like everything else. Production is
Cover mine with a
slowed
2x4.
because you can't obviously have the same working conditions. Also, the weather has caused a bunch of like production to slow down, and then like the forest areas, they're too snowed in.
Well, you can't chop trees in the rain.
no, so it's like cold
I don't know
blizzard.
about you guys.
conditions.
My dad made me do everything in the rain.
Anyway, all the time
Wash
we
my
talked
car.
about getting a fence sponsor, you think one
No.
company would be like, listen, what do I get if I give EJ a fence that
I
costs
think
us?
Jimmy's got that locked up. He's got that fence
$1,700.
company that he advertised. Jimmy does.
Well, there's got to be more than
Yeah.
one.
No,
what
there's
is
only
this?
one.
Just one
Yep,
fence
there's
company?
one.
Because you think they'd at least reach out and be like, well, I'll give a $1,700 fence for $5,000 of advertising. Like they throw something out or something.
Can I just change the subject but relate it to this? I started thinking fence, then I started thinking chain link, then I started thinking Jack's Link, which is beef jerky. Is that his real name? Jack's Link? Is it Jack Links?
I think it's just a corporation that just started. beef
Is
jerky.
there a Jack? Is there a Mr. Links?
Is that the one with the Sasquatch in the commercials?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. No, I think it's just a made up. It's Mrs. Butterworth.
Oh, you can't say that.
Oh,
They
no,
just
can't
changed
say that.
theirs, right?
What?
They changed theirs to like the completely non-racist pancake factory. I think that's like they changed the name of their whole
there's
thing to like.
It was actually founded by John Jack Link.
Wow,
okay,
Mr.
wow.
Link,
Oh,
big link.
Tom knows something.
No,
Jack
I
He
say
can't
the
remember his
opposite.
school, but he can remember that.
No, I actually,
go.
I
He's a
said
real man.
I thought it was a fake.
Jack Link's secret chimp.
There you go.
All right, EJ, what do we got first?
You know what? Let's start off with the video because it makes me happy.
Okay.
And it's kind of a nerd and bully thing at the same time. And this dog is a bully.
Okay, I'm going to the video now.
Bully dog.
If you're watching,
Yeah.
twitch.tv/Tom and
And
Dan
it's
Live.
has to do with the weather that's going on right now.
Okay, this video is called Dog Hates Snowmen.
All right.
This is what we've become. The whole show has become now you're listening to the radio, and I'm urging you to go to your web browser now.
Yes.
And then check
Go
out
look at this
twitch.tv/Tom and Dan Live, and you can watch and watch with us as we watch the video Dog Hates Snowmen from the Dodo. Here we go.
There he runs out there. Knocking down a snowman. Okay, stop this. I can't stand it. There's nothing.
Yeah, there's nothing
This
good
is
about
stupid.
this.
EJ, why did you show us this?
Because I know your kids probably want to get a puppy, and I know Dan still wants to get a puppy.
Oh, I got
and you
puppy
probably should
fever.
Get one for sure, and ruin your lives.
Yeah, we
Like
don't
I
have
did.
snow, which is nice. So
Yeah, I just again I know Crystal brings us up, like all the time about getting a dog or whatever. She and I just again it's
I think no matter which decision you make, you're going to be miserable because you're just miserable.
no, I just the amount of work, is it worth it? I just question that, and I
No,
know,
it's not.
But if you question,
not.
if you before you do
Everything.
everything,
Everybody says it's not.
no, but if before you do everything, you have to have you have to pause and reflect on the amount of work that everything is going to be. You will never have time for anything.
Well,
Right.
I only have a finite amount of time. I just want to use it.
Most of your time is
wisely.
spent talking about a finite amount of time.
So I feel like getting the puppy is going to add to my work.
Do you ever get a puppy or no?
What
No,
do you mean?
I'm asking. You're saying you have a finite. I'm trying to help you. You're saying I have a finite amount of time here on this planet, and you want to get the optimum ride out of this trip around the sun.
Yeah.
So do you ever get a puppy, or
I
are
don't
you
know.
claiming that the work for a puppy is too hard? That one's off the table.
I don't. Well, that's what I'm questioning. Everybody that's a dog owner, tells me that it's a pain in the ass. And then
Well, especially if it's a puppy and it's not potty trained and it's chewing up all,
All
your
that
stuff.
work.
Maybe adopt a senior dog.
Maybe
then
adopt
it's
a senior.
What is the point of that? Because the puppy with the kids is about like puppy rambunctious, playing with the kids,
and making the puppy your own, indoctrinating it into the way that you believe, feeding it gunpowder, making it fight things.
Old
making
senior
it
dog.
Yeah,
it just wanders around your
it's
house.
stuck in its ways too.
You buy it food. It's alive. It's a live animal that's wandering around your house. It's all right. Is there like okay? That's something. I'm spending time. Cleaning it, going to the vet.
Yeah, like
I'm
just gonna
It's another
guess
kid, yeah.
that in your family, your vote is gonna always be against bringing in anything you could love. I'm gonna guess that would be a big no because you already have what you need to love. You don't need nothing more to love. Correct?
Well,
you got Crystal and you got your boys. You're set on love things.
Yeah.
So you don't need. I'm being serious.
I don't factor in the equation that, but me loving it gives me any value.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, you're saying
it has to be something else,
right? Because to me, like Maggie and Caesar, I get value out of that just by seeing them when I walk in and squishing them, giving them a hug or kissing them.
Okay,
I like snuggling on the in this morning. I snuggled with Maggie in the bed. Like I get something out of that. I know that you don't.
Yeah.
So the idea of getting a dog just to have it sit next to you during football is new. That ain't a thing for him.
Here's the thing, though. I would get something out of it because I'm not a sociopath crazy person. I like when Lena, because it sounds like I am when I'm describing why I'm there, but I promise you I'm not.
Yeah.
Because when
exactly what a sociopath would say.
Because it's the same.
I'll win you over with my lies, and then I'll kill you like a sociopath.
It's the same argument that I have with kids, and we've talked about it a million times, where yes, once you have the kid, you understand how much you love it, and it just changes your mentality, and you're like, oh my God, this is the most important thing in my entire life, and I live for this human now.
Yeah.
But we tell Samantha and other people who don't have kids, you would never know if you never experienced it. So therefore, it's fine. Like you're not under. It doesn't matter. You're not. It's not like you had it and then lost it and then you want it back. You never even experienced it.
So everything you're doing is just as good or better.
So with the dog, what you're saying is 100% correct. Once you have the dog, the love it gives you, it's like, yes, this is worth it. But I'm saying if I never get that, I won't ever know.
I agree with that.
And then Lena got it a little bit, but it's been enough time where I'm just like, I'm fine. I'm content without one.
Because you've also forgotten that. Yeah, I agree with everything you're saying. I'm on board
Sorry.
with.
Anyway.
And by the way, I don't want you to get a dog. Back, maybe right before pandemic. Oh, I wanted you to spend the whole pandemic with a dog. But not now. I like you a little more now as the show's progressed, and I think our relationship has blossomed during pandemic.
Here's why I'll win. Because right now, Crystal will never buy any sort of like a dog from a dog company or
she'll never get a good dog. You'll always get a bad
lumpy
dog.
pound dog.
You guys get the dog equivalent of misfit produce.
And the pandemic has basically the entire supply of lumpy pound dogs have been taken, and everybody.
If we had a rap group, we would be the lumpy pound dogs.
And the only ones that are left are biteys and traumatized ones.
You don't want a bitey.
I got
a
my mom just
Maggie's
got a
bitey. Yeah.
And then,
man.
and then
Maggie bites my elbows.
So
it hurts like S.
So there's not that big of a supply. The only thing left are the garbage ones.
Yeah.
And then
Scraps.
Crystal looks at it, it's like,
Scraps. It's like fingernails. When you go to get a chip at a Mexican restaurant, you reach into that basket to get a crisp, hot chip. What's left? Fingernails. Yeah. That's all that's left in these wart dogs.
It's all mixed breed.
Nobody
pit bulls.
wants it. The only way you can, and you know the only way you can eat.
You want a mixed breed pit bull? It's been slapped. Got a cigarette burn on.
I want one. The only drawback is it'll rip my daughter's head off.
Its chain has been fused to its neck from horrible abuse.
Yeah. You got to cut that.
I'm sure it'll be.
Sad dog.
Here's a fun
It's
fact.
right there, face biting height with her sons.
Yeah, it's right there. And it's more muscly than they are. The thing is ripped.
Oh, yeah.
My God, look at his shoulders on that dog.
Once it bites a hold of you, its eyes roll back and shake crazy.
It's an ecstasy.
I have to...
it's literally climaxing in its dog brain. It's having so much fun crushing your skull.
Yeah. I'll have to shoot 5 rounds into its brain.
And
just
everybody's ears are blown out. Yeah. And that'll kill Taco Tuesday. You're going to execute the dog in your living room?
Yeah, because I won't let go of Tommy.
Everybody's eardrums are blown out. And then what are you going to do? Take him to the emergency room and then get some Tijuana Flats drive-through?
Anyway, sorry, EJ. What else we got?
Well, should we do nerd or should we do jock stuff?
Jock.
Okay. The story I sent to Dan. The one I sent? It's about this Brazilian. Like, I think he's a millionaire. He paid $186,000 for one player to play for another team in a crucial match, and it cost the team the game. I don't understand the story because it seems like basically you're buying and selling humans to play for other teams. It's just weird.
Yeah,
in soccer.
I kind of misunderstood it too, but basically what the story says, and I'm not sure I necessarily believe it, or maybe in translation because it did come from I believe, was it South America or was it Italy?
I think it was a Brazilian team. I think Brazilian international team, I think is what they wanted him for.
So they wanted a particular defender to play, and then this guy ponied up a certain amount of money, let's just say $200,000 to get this guy to play. And I believe from what I was trying to read, he was sitting on a cumulative yellow card, got another, and was sent off. So then they go amount.
The game.
They go amount.
They usually win the championship in that league, and then because he played this game, it cost him the team he used to play for and the team he was playing for that one game.
So I'm just to help me understand, this guy was a fan of Team A, and he wanted a player from Team B to play defender so that he figured it would give him less a chance to win. Like, he basically tried to throw Team B's, or like throw the game by making Team B play a certain player that he like seemed like or was saying.
No, I think it's the other way around. Like, he was trying to get a team to win by moving the player to that team because he's a better player at the time, and then the team that I totally don't understand the story.
Oh my
and I know
why the hell did you bring it up? You explained it horribly.
Because I wanted to do some more soccer stuff because I know there's
because you wanted me to be your friend.
Soccer. I'm trying to expand my horizons.
You were trying to impress me, weren't you?
This is shit. All you have to
see
do
what
is
happens when you try to impress people.
Read the story.
Stay in your lane.
It's not
okay, let's talk about NFL quarterbacks then, because the NFL quarterback carousel. Where is everyone going? Like, is Ben Roethlisberger going to stay with the Steelers?
Is Dak Prescott going to stay? He's there for good, right?
Dallas, yeah.
There's a bunch of questions. Apparently,
I just saw Dak's name come through a minute ago. I didn't know what was happening.
Sam Darnold might be the guy going to Pittsburgh.
So,
oh, really?
There used to be a thing like in extreme sports where, like, people thought that something was impossible or unlikely, and then someone does it. And then all of a sudden they see someone else do it, and they're like, oh, and then everybody does it instantly like that same week.
You're doing the TB12?
No. Well,
everybody wants to be old TB12?
It's just human psychology where you think that everything works the way it's always worked, and then when someone steps out of the box and does something different and is successful, so everybody looks at that like, well, we can do it.
Yeah.
And I think we're seeing that with Tom Brady.
Yeah, but you're seeing more talented quarterbacks, not necessarily
veterans.
Better quarterback.
Well, it's...
You know what I mean? Like Brady, you can say what you want to about the guy. He just doesn't make a lot of mistakes, does he?
No, yeah.
And that's
100%.
the greatest skill I think you can have almost as you're coming in for a landing. The greatest skill you can have is attention to detail almost.
Well, what I'm saying is that Brady left a team he was with for 20 years and the next year won a Super Bowl. And a lot of other quarterbacks and veterans and even teams are looking at that and saying, wow, like, this is a thing. You could leave a team that everybody thought you were going to retire. Like, people now it seems like all the quarterbacks are at least contemplating it, or maybe for negotiation reasons, like putting things out there. Aaron Rodgers, like everybody.
I might have picked up some documents off our printer. I shouldn't have, of a certain brand called TV12 about a certain guy who might be taking his talents to a new podcast.
Like, I think everybody would have just assumed that, like, a guy like Aaron Rodgers is going to retire in Green Bay, right? Like,
I think it's a better it's a better story to if you stay and succeed.
Yeah.
If you stay and then you just kind of get worse over the years, which is what I believe most people do, that's not a sexy story. The sexy story is that you went left on top and then you went to the new place
Yeah.
and you accomplished, which
Yes.
is what Brady did.
And then, and the problem is because of the business behind NFL football, veteran quarterbacks demand a lot of money, and usually they are in their contracts. Every year they play, they get paid more. And then all of a sudden, now you have this imbalance where you're paying one player, like an Aaron Rodgers or like a superstar, your franchise quarterback.
Do we even know where Deshaun's going?
Well, that's it. Looks like the Panthers. Maybe
Yuck.
the
And
so
that
far
sucks. I don't want him on the Panthers.
it's rumored
Oh, God.
as being a possibility.
Yeah, deep values McCaffrey if he goes to the Panthers.
Yeah,
for sure.
that just makes it harder for me.
Well,
My
no-
stupid team.
Well, the trade rumors they trade McCaffrey and 3 first-round picks. That was what was leaked, and then now that could be they leaked it to try as a negotiation thing to get the bids higher, because now you're trading your best player on your team and 3 first-round
Yeah.
picks. That's going to drive the price up. There's a lot of things.
What do you
this
guys?
is huge business.
What do you guys feel about the college draft? Is it as up in the air? And I don't know, as everybody's saying, because of the lack of playing time, the weirdness, the COVID, do you have the skills you actually have? You know, they're throwing out a bunch of different little things here, saying that this year's draft is going to be the absolute strangest, most bananas of all time.
I can believe that. Yeah, because like the teams that were in the Big Ten, they didn't play the whole season.
Yeah,
so,
you got a
like-
lot of weird prospects that did.
Yeah, but most of the first picks are going to be like Trevor Lawrence is probably going number 1 for sure. But after that, it's like it is up in the air,
So
depending on what schools they go to. And usually you don't take offensive linemen as much anymore in the draft. You rather like get veteran players that are offensive linemen so they know the league better. But I don't know.
So let me ask you guys this, because this doesn't make sense to me, and maybe you guys can explain it or we could talk it out. So someone like Carson Wentz, speaking of quarterback changes, obviously Eagles traded him to the Colts, and a lot of I've read, who knows, but I've read things that they think the Colts paid too much, and they started analyzing.
Then we read the same thing. 'Cause last I read, that it was lopsided on that.
But because they've had some history, Frank Wright and Carson Wentz, they think anyway. So it's odd to me that certain quarterbacks are. Now, I'm saying besides injury, because like you could look at Drew Brees and like look at him at the end of last year, but the guy had 11 broken ribs and and his age, and you're like, the guy got too injured, he can't ever come back.
Guy 5 years ago.
Yeah. And then sometimes you just get like a bad surgery or an injury and you can't work past it. There's like speculation that Cam Newton is like that. He just was injured and he can never be the same, right? I understand that because your throwing mechanics could change or whatever. But you see, like, and this is mainstream media, and like you hear the stories on SportsCenter and stuff of like, and just social media of a quarterback, like he had an unbelievable year. And then, like, now people are writing him off and being like, he just can't throw. He's just not good anymore. And then I'm just like, he's just not good anymore. What does that mean? What does he lost his ability to do what he did 1 year ago? I don't understand. Like, it doesn't seem logical that the guy's just not good anymore. Why would he be just not good anymore?
You know, it's funny. I use analogies from Madden a lot because I place a decent amount to turn my brain up. And what you're talking about happens in the game, and I don't even know what you call it. It's like there'll be a guy that's a starting quarterback on a team that I'm playing, and then the next season, he won't even be in the game. It's like the guys like they were just like, you are terrible. They're like, you're out. And now, I'm sure that happens to a degree.
Now, I understand that it gets very complicated with some people need more time in the pocket, and your offensive line has a lot to do with it. The fact that you have a good running back has a lot to do with the play action works so well. But like, there's a lot of complications and stuff. But it's just when it comes to like, all right, if a team like the Colts, like they have all the video they want on Carson Wentz. And don't they, like, all it is can he, like, is his throwing motion, can he get off the ball quick? Is his throwing motion good? Is his accuracy good?
How can they look at him throw, let's say, a game and go, yeah, he's done?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like because as long as certain
decision-making sometimes, that's usually the case. Like, decision-making does break down over time. Sometimes it improves over time. Sometimes it breaks down because then you get those tappy feet because your offensive line has been garbage for so long, so you're afraid of getting hit. So you're going to release the ball too early, or you're going to try to get out of the pocket faster than you should. So that comes down to it too.
Okay, but that's certain instances with certain teams. But I'm saying if you're the Colts, you're looking at a guy and you're like, all right, well, he can throw the ball accurately. His throwing motion's perfect or whatever it is. He gets the ball out in enough
X amount of time.
under 2 seconds or whatever the
It's
deal is.
usually-
He can go through his progression of reads, right? Like
correctly.
So it's like that's
He can
it, right? I'm
adapt,
like, how I know it's really really complicated, but I just don't buy the person's just not good anymore because I'm like, how can that be the reality? Like
you would require in that instance a little bit more of an explanation.
Yeah.
Explain to me why he's not good.
It's like the dodo dilly saying like, oh, he can't throw it far anymore. I'm like, he can't throw it far anymore.
Hold on a second. I have heard that about Tom Brady until I'm sick of it. I've heard it about the last
like,
5
of course he
Super
can
Bowls
throw it
he's
far.
won. The last 5 Super Bowls that Tom Brady has won, people have said he can't throw it far. He can't throw it far. Like apparently throwing it far doesn't matter.
Like maybe if you were like chucking it like in a football competition, and maybe it's like 5 or 10
That
yards
doesn't
less
matter.
than it was 10 years ago. But of course he can throw it far. It's not like oh, he can't throw it like anywhere past 30 yards. There's a wobbler.
At some
We're
point,
a world full of haters.
Yeah,
That's all it is.
exactly. At some point, it
But it's
just
all
becomes
nonsense.
like golf, where it's a finite. You have the area; it's 100 yards.
Yeah.
All you have to do is manage that.
Well, we just want to simplify everything to like he got noodle arm, or he can't throw it far. He just don't got it anymore. It's just not good anymore. It's like it can't be
You
that
know what
simple.
it sounds a lot like? It sounds a lot like, oh, she died. Well, you knew she smoked. What she die of? Lung cancer. It sounds like
Right.
we need something to explain it away.
Yeah. Anyway,
What else you got?
The other one I have is, have you heard about the Mariners CEO and president that
Yes.
resigned?
Yes, I read
You hear
that
the story.
I read that
Did you
story.
read what he was saying it's crazy.
Yeah, I read that story last night. It sounded like dumb old man goes to Kiwanis breakfast to do a speech. Dumb old men love to have a pancake breakfast and have some dumb football or baseball guy get up there in front of them and talk about the good old days, usually talking about putting a doo-doo in this guy's locker. And, right? It's a good old boy. You have a pancake breakfast and you tell stories that are probably inappropriate. And this has been going on for years. In fact, you and I actually did one. But it was a nighttime deal with the coach of Orlando City at the time, Adrian Heath. You did it. I was with my daughter being born.
oh
something.
yeah. Oh yeah.
And the beauty of this is that Adrian Heath is not dumb old man. But these like, hey, it's a Gator brunch and Steve Spurrier is going to show up and tell you all.
the Rotary
Dumb
Club.
old men show up,
Yeah.
they get their pancakes and they sit there, and then the guy goes up there and tells slightly off color, maybe slightly racist, maybe slightly misogynistic tales of coaching.
And
It's been going on for decades.
You also take. I remember I did this with Adrian Heath, and it was at Latitudes, and it was him taking questions
ones.
from the fans, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know how no one, but I know I miss a lot, and I'm very stupid.
You're not.
But how is it that I'm the only one that thinks about the fact that I'm like, what if no one has any questions? Because I know what's going to happen. I've done these things so many times. I'm going to be like, who's got questions? And then there's going to be nobody. And then we're going to sit there in awkward silence. My fear of awkwardness makes these things make me think of these things. And then everybody else like, no. Everybody.
Sam, I believe I text Tom, Maisie's been bored, and he texts back, no one has questions.
Well, no,
Is this what we get to look forward to at the Front Yard Fest?
Here's what I did, though. I said
He wrote his own question.
I brought this up. I said, "What if no one has questions?" They all said, "Of course, everybody have questions. These are supporters. They have questions." I'm like, I don't know. A lot of people don't like to ask questions in public, and anytime you're
They
like,
get
"Hey,
scared,
does anybody have a
Public
question?"
speaking, yeah.
no one wants to ask her
Yeah.
because and they're
They
like,
freeze up.
They're like, no. These are
That'll never happen.
These are the ultra. And then I'm like, I'm just gonna write some backup questions and put them in my pocket. I wrote 10 backup
Because
questions.
he's always prepared. prepared.
I got up there. I'm like, hey, what's going on? Tom Van here. We're Adrian Heath. Adrian Heath's just sitting there. He's a real man. He don't want to be there.
He
Like,
just wants to drink his beer. Don't look him in the eye.
He wants to drink his Corona and then sit there. This is one of his obligations, media obligations.
He hates it.
mad
Hates
about
every
it.
second of it.
He's this goofy, stupid. Then I look out at blacked out supporters. They're all there. And I'm like, who's got some questions for Adrian? Not one person raised their hand. And then I pulled out the list out of my pocket and just asked him the 10 questions that I had. And then what makes me even more mad is that I go to the people that I just had this conversation the night before about, like, no, what are they? And then everybody's like, that went well, that went well. I'm like, oh, went well. I just wrote the questions that I asked him. Of course it went well because I knew what was going to happen.
He was prepared. Now,
Turn my headphones on.
in the case of this Mariners guy, and I believe he's CEO?
Yeah, he's the
Former,
president.
yeah.
Former? Well, yeah. Well, he had been in trouble before in
resigned.
2018.
Yeah.
This wasn't his first
This
time.
guy's not a good guy.
He's a bad
He's not
guy.
a good guy. He's
What
talking about
happened
it,
at the
like,
pancake?
He was pissed. He was mad that he had to pay the interpreter for one of the players from Asia and like stuff like that, and like he had to double play this guy.
Well,
And of
I'd be
course-
mad about that.
He made comments
I
in
knew
front.
you
It's
would. I
while
knew that's
these.
why I brought it up.
Why
Well, who's going to be happy about it?
while this room of what I'm guessing is, I'm guessing 35 to 50 old white men getting pancakes. It's just what I'm envisioning in my mind.
Yeah.
They're getting their pancakes while this guy's going on and on about how he doesn't like broken English and players from South America coming in and not having a full grasp of the English language. And it's just not stuff that, I mean, this could be your personal opinion, but it's not the stuff you share as the CEO of the corporation at the pancake breakfast because it makes the whole thing look really bad and you are being racist.
He's also had some issues with some female
Sexual
employees.
harassment,
yeah.
So it's not.
Oh, we were getting
this
to that.
Guy's
We were getting to that, yeah.
he's
But this is on video. The other stuff is on.
Yeah,
is-
and so they put the video, the Kiwanis
Allegations.
Club or whatever released the video. Then the Mariners end up watching it and they're like, oh my God, they have to pull the video down. Then bye-bye, you're gone.
Yeah.
If you're the owner of a baseball team, how do you not realize that the Dominican players are just athletically better than the player from Nebraska or whatever? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's been a certain pattern in the Major League Baseball, and you see where great players come from. It's like any sport. Like, there's certain regions in the world that, like, I know all the is it big in Puerto Rico? Baseball is big in Puerto Rico. Like Dominican Republic,
Yeah,
is
the
big for-
DR loves baseball.
Most of the Caribbean, yeah.
There's
most
certain,
of- yeah.
certain areas of Germany that are soccer craze mode.
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
certain
yeah.
areas of Japan that you are basketball to the nth degree.
Yeah, so you know, like the best of the best players come from like regions like this, and then all you as an owner want to do is win, right? Like, how could you be like, I just want a bunch of Babe Ruths to
Yeah,
stink.
well, I mean,
what do you
didn't
want?
say that.
Yeah, but then they.
I know,
what,
but,
what
like,
it
it's
is-
weird that
It is very weird to me. EPL, like soccer, is the one that I don't get because you understand that globally it's the biggest sport in the world, and you understand that every country, like we're the ones that are lacking in that, and then you're basically hiring these guys from African countries or Africa. You're hiring guys from mostly I guess Eastern Europe, and you're putting them all together, and then you're still going to be racist when they're winning you matches. Like I don't get. I don't.
Yeah, that doesn't make
So
sense.
what are you cheering for the
That's a
team?
lot
But you
of,
are you going go? Let's say
Yeah.
Arsenal, my team. You go Arsenal, but you hate all the black guys that are on your team.
Yeah, that's
I don't know how
weird,
that
right?
works. That's stupid. That's the stupidest thing.
They're
I've
not
ever-
there to like the people. They're there
But
to
they
make
still
money.
support the team, Sam. And what I'm saying is that these guys are at the games. They're racist, right? And then they'll be there. And what, do you like the black guys on your team and hate the black guys on the other team? How does that even work?
They're just a
You're
money
trying to
making
find
machine
logic
to
and
them.
racism. There's no logic to it. for
It's
sure.
probably
And it's bad. It's bad in soccer.
also
Yeah.
Bad in every sport.
so every once in a while you get
it was unaddressed by FIFA for many, 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 many years.
you get an old man that's just rambling off and saying things
For
he shouldn't.
45 minutes.
Yeah, yeah,
He
yeah.
went on
Yeah.
this rant.
And
Well,
you
they
know, I
had
blame
pancakes.
I blame.
shut it down.
Yeah, the other
Throw a
people,
pancake at him. My God.
the other people from the organization that let this guy. It's like you should have known.
Yeah, don't you guys know this guy's history?
Yeah,
Like,
don't let him talk.
Don't let him talk.
Although
Well, maybe they did it on purpose. Let's get rid of him. Let's
Maybe.
put him.
Well, give him
put
some
on
rope.
display.
Give him
Yeah.
the rope. Let him go. Film it.
Hang himself. Yep.
What do we got for nerd?
Okay. We need to talk about WandaVision because all the memes are starting to ruin every episode. Have you seen some of the memes that are coming out?
That's not
with
WandaVision's fault. That's memes' fault.
I know.
Explain.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, it's one of those shows that you're going to have to watch the week it comes out, or at least close to that, or a
stay
meme
off
is going
social
to ruin
media.
it for it. Especially the last 2 episodes. The very end of the show has been memed crazy.
I have been able to avoid all WandaVision spoilers because I think WandaVision is stupid.
What is it? I don't understand what the show's about.
Without giving anything away, it's basically the Scarlet Witch from the Avengers movies is in her own kind of reality. Whether she made it herself or is having help being made is up in the air, but it's basically based off a bunch of like sitcoms from the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and like the last one was like close to Modern Family, and like they even did break the fourth wall and talk to the camera.
Okay, so is it about superheroes?
Yes, but
Okay.
it kind of has. See, I'm trying to do stuff without giving anything away or any spoilers because that's what we're talking about, being spoiled by stuff. It's basically about grief.
It's a try-hard,
It's a story about
overly
grief.
creative presentation of the same old superhero garbage.
Is it?
Is that accurate?
I don't think so. I think it's very different from the
Here's
movies
the
and
plot
the other
line.
TV shows that have been in the Marvel
Okay.
universe.
All right.
Here's the plot of WandaVision.
Okay, yeah.
Sam's going to hit it.
Set 3 weeks after the events of Avengers Endgame in 2019, Wanda Maximoff and Vision are living in an idyllic suburban life in the town of Westview, New Jersey, trying to conceal their true natures. As they begin to enter new decades and encounter television tropes, the couple suspects that things are not as they seem.
So
Yeah,
it's
and Vision died in Endgame, so we don't know how he's back.
Wait,
and all
this
that
is
stuff. So there's a lot of
Pleasantville.
stuff in it.
well, this is like The Incredibles.
This
like-
is,
Yeah.
this is Pleasantville with old Barney Fife.
yeah.
Tobey Maguire.
Why couldn't you explain that, EJ? That's what makes me mad. Like that
I
plot.
don't want to spoil anything because I know
You can tell
all
us the
about
plot.
it without doing anything.
It's great. I don't want to yuck on anybody's yum,
Hold
so
on.
I'm glad you guys enjoy WandaVision.
I think I could explain anything without spoiling it and give you a pretty good explanation, even of a movie that, like, you're explaining Sixth Sense. It's like, all right, there.
So who is Wanda?
well,
The
there's
Scarlet Witch. She was in the Avengers. She first appeared in Age of Ultron.
Wait, is she
in the
Wanda
MCU.
or is she Scarlet Witch?
That's her code name in the MCU.
Oh.
that's her Clark Kent, right?
No, that's her Superman.
Is she a fish?
Wanda Maximoff is her real name.
Wanda Maximoff?
Yeah, and depending on which timeline you're going with, she's either Magneto's daughter or she's been mutated by the evolutionary.
Is this appropriate for 5 and 6 year olds?
No,
I
too
understand.
confusing.
No, like
No, I think my kids like it. My son who's 8, he likes it.
it's like any sort of like. Is it along the same lines as a Mandalorian as far as like
Fighting?
Violence level and stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Because I tried to watch Guardians of the Galaxy with Max and
Oh,
Tommy.
they didn't like that one?
Well, the very beginning is a little rough. I was just talking about that with my wife. Like his mom dies at the very beginning of cancer.
yeah, and,
That's fine.
And then later in the movie, when they set that raccoon character on fire and let him burn to...
well, there's also like they smash some guy's head with a giant axe or a hammer.
Yeah, that's Gallagher. He's a watermelon.
It's,
That's Ronan.
it
And
seemed
he kills one of the Nova Corps members. Yeah.
Guardians of the Galaxy seemed way more intense than Mandalorian for sure. Like,
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like Max freaked out. We turned it off, and it was like, oh, okay, this is not
Well,
for.
Ronan is a genocidal madman, so that's why.
Well, you never
So-
know what's going to freak a kid out. Like, we watched The Greatest Showman, which is harmless, multiple times with Maisie, and then the last time we watched it, which was like 2 weeks ago, the fire scene where the house catches on fire.
I've never seen it.
There's a scene where a mansion, like the house they live in, catches on fire. Now, terrified of it. I'm like, okay, that's fine. I didn't want to watch it anymore either. Anyway, we watched it
I was
5
scared
times.
of the dogs from Ghostbusters back in the day.
That's
Yeah, those are scary though.
Ghostbusters. That's that was appropriate for 80s 6-year-olds. You know, so like,
Yeah,
a different time.
I think it was 5 when I saw it, and I think it was too much.
I think the surprising thing about WandaVision to me is that, to me, when I read it and just what I do know of it, to me it sounds like they're trying way too hard. But I have yet to hear any nerd say that. It seems like everybody I know that watches it, even if in the beginning they didn't like WandaVision, now wants to jump on board and love it. So to me, it almost feels like the intense love for loving something that is completely weird and a little bit essy is overpowering the actual original idea from jump. Does that make sense?
I didn't like it. It took me a little while to get into it. I like the first 2 episodes. I was like, "What's going on?" I have no clue what's going on.
I'm sure it's well done. Like, I've never thought that it was going to be a poorly produced product. What I'm saying is, though, I feel like, and this happens with every show. What I'm describing isn't a phenomenon that only happened to WandaVision. I feel like there is something. Yeah, we have a bunch of children above us, and they run back and forth over.
Like the ceiling's about to cave in.
Their mother, in her wisdom, put their bedroom directly over our studio. And to torture us, and they run back and forth every single day. Right now, they're doing P90X up there.
God.
Yeah, they're really working out hard up there. Jump ropes.
Well, on your point, Dan, I think because the zeitgeist of like Game of Thrones, Love Lost, The Sopranos, any show that a lot of people like becomes part of like the nature of culture.
Yeah,
the United States and stuff like that.
And they did it right.
I agree that people love it, and then that love kind of transcends a lot of stuff. But a lot of stuff, and then look at the ends of those shows. Most of them turned out to be garbage at the end. Well, but this one seems it was garbage at the beginning, and it worked in its way to get better and better.
And that was brilliant because there was an element of confusion that they used in the beginning, the first couple of episodes, where they didn't even tell you what was going on. And my point is, I'm not saying it well. I should. I'm a talk show guy, but it seems like they used that momentum that they had, that confusion, to really. And now I feel like the show, I'm not saying the show's not good. I haven't watched it. I can't say. But I'm just saying, is it as good as we want it to seem? Is it really that revolutionary? Or is that feeling? Because I know what it's like to have everybody tell you got to watch this, you got to watch this, you got to watch. I mean, you guys do it to me all the time. And I have to fight watching movies and stuff. Does that make sense? It's like, I feel like the hype behind it is just.
Well, that and the investment in time. Like, you think that the people already invested like 8 episodes. And they're already invested, so they got to finish it out. Is that what you're saying too?
Okay, this is the other thing. That, and it's got, 20-some movies behind it?
Yeah, right. It has the backstory that fills it out, too.
Yeah, so that's itself, kind of like...
It probably wouldn't be a good show. I kind of agree with you
That's what
on
I'm
that.
saying. Like, everybody wants to say, oh my God, have you seen WandaVision? And I'm like... I don't know, y'all.
Well, it's kind of this scenario where they're talking about how, like, Dark Phoenix, it can't be one movie. They try to do it too many times. And if it was in this kind of scenario where it's played out over 10 episodes, it probably would be a better movie, or at least a storyline.
When a show like this obviously gets a lot of hype, and then it gets a lot of social media hype, and everybody's talking about it, which I'm sure
first season, I believe that's a curse.
It translates to probably an insane amount of downloads, and like, do they? Yeah. Okay, you know how in sports, this is going to tie in sports and nerd together.
Okay.
In sports, you get a real hypey team, like the Chiefs are one of them, and like the Bills at the end of last season, where like everybody was like, "Oh, the Bills are really good," and that will cause like ancillary players, and like the attention will attract quality players, because quality players, if they have a choice, especially like guys that are on the cusp of like either like really good practice squad guys or guys that get released but they're good, like it'll just like good colleges and championship colleges attract good players, like possible Super Bowl teams attract good players. So then
we saw that
helps your overall roster be better, because just the perception of you maybe making it to the Super Bowl will bring new players. Does that happen with writing and TV shows that gain popularity, where all of a sudden, like, everybody's talking about WandaVision, and then all of a sudden do they get like maybe their best writers or a couple of their best crew to go help with this show because it's got so much popularity?
I think you're onto something, and I think we were able to talk this out. I think we were able to talk this out. I fleshed out what I have, the problem I have with this. And I'm going to be honest. I think the problem I have with this show is not the show at all. I think the problem I have with this show is I want to be a part of the WandaVision universe. But I'd have to go back and watch
Yeah.
all those silly movies.
Yeah.
And I mean that with love, because I know you guys love them. But I just don't think I have the time to be able to do that and still have WandaVision, have some hype behind it. So I'm over here, and there's no way I can come to the universe. There's no way I can come to your party.
What do you have
And,
to
I'm being I'm being a baby about it.
Watch.
I think I'm being a baby about it. And the reason I don't like this show is because I never dedicated any time to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and now I can't, and I'm left out.
Well, you can just watch it.
I'm being a baby.
Yeah, it's not that one. Do one a night. You could do it easily.
No,
There's,
no.
what, 27
that's
of them you can watch.
Watching
No.
27
It'll take you a
Marvel
month.
movies. 27 nights of Marvel movies. I would rather kill myself.
Yeah.
Can't you watch WandaVision without knowing any backstory of these movies? EJ.
Yeah, you could. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, you don't even have to watch
No,
the
but I'm
movies
not
then.
going to get that. I want to get the full,
Yeah.
he's
It doesn't
wearing
have the
Spider-Man
backstory that
socks.
gives it weight.
Holy crap,
Yeah,
she's
or
wearing
little
Spider-Man
Easter
socks.
eggs that are
Like,
showing up
the
in
little
it.
things, oh man, he's got the Infinity pinky ring on or whatever. Yeah, I don't know, this garbage
Or
you guys
Monica
come up
Rambeau,
with.
Rambo that was in Captain Marvel. She's
Yeah.
in this one, but she's older now.
Oh, he's using a piece of the shield to eat his yogurt. Like, I don't know what you guys talk about, but it's dumb.
EJ, when's your wife's MyCon?
MyCon is March 6th, so it's pretty much next week almost.
All right.
So it's not this weekend, but the weekend after.
Give me free tickets.
Okay.
That's easy.
Yeah.
It's like
Tom, you get nothing because you haven't got me a fence yet.
Is Dave Chappelle still going to be there?
Dave Chappelle's showing up.
Yeah,
He's
he
gonna
will
do a
be there.
set in the middle of it. You have to wear masks.
How'd you get into MyCon? I just opened the door.
It's only $5. It's not that expensive, and that's the whole thing. So we want you to have a cheap entry so you can spend money at the con, and the vendors get their money's worth.
All right, EJ. We'll talk to you next week.
All right, love you guys.
All right.
Bye.
Love you too.
See ya.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Oh my God, I did it again.
Yeah.
I did it again. That's my fault. Hold on, where is it? I'm turning it off now. Get out of our Zoom room.
Yeah, we
Leave
can-
the Zoom room.
Yeah. Just push
Leave-
X.
I got it on here. You know what? That's rude. When we end a Zoom, you were supposed to leave, not just stand there. Are we done? I'm going to stand here and watch you.
Bye-bye. Welcome back to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. And you know what, Tom? Never, ever, ever besmirch the name of diabetes dogs. Last week, we went on a whole diatribe about how you and I do not believe diabetes dogs are real.
No, we didn't say that. We never said that.
We said that we don't think that dogs can find diabetes by sniffing you.
No, we didn't say that.
No, we didn't?
No.
We may have. I don't
think
know.
we did.
No, we were talking about drug sniffing dogs, bomb dogs,
and then we got
diabetes
I
dogs.
believe it was more of a, how do they do that?
I think you guys
don't
said they
know.
weren't as cool as bomb sniffing
That's
dogs.
true. That maybe that's what we said. Not as cool. Well, this man's mad.
Tom, this is Justin, BDM. Don't talk crap about the diabetes dogs. Type 1 diabetic, right here. Which means I was born with it. I didn't get it from wearing hockey jerseys and being fat and swollen feet. But anyhow, if you want good diabetes stories, I can give you some.
Apparently, and he gave me his number. Apparently, this guy, he is, because he was born with it. Maybe it's Maybelline.
I know. I thought that too.
He is forever like passing out into like.
Yeah, I reached out to him.
Yeah, this guy like passed out in a cemetery and started quoting like
Shakespeare
and different like philosophers.
So I remember now what I was talking to S about was we were saying why not just get the tester kit. It nowadays like there's one that hooks up to your phone.
Well, my tester kit won't poop in my car.
and then it's like it'd be super easy. It's just like a little, prick your finger and then you put the blood on the thing and it's all digital now. And so like I was saying, why have this big German Shepherd or whatever the hell that's trained to like, you have to put the little biscuit on your tongue and then it's got to sniff that or eat that and it sniffs the blood sugar. It's like way more of a hassle, it seems, than just getting a tiny digital tester kit that you carry around. That's all I'm saying. As how can the diabetes dog be better than the tiny digital tester kit?
I would agree with you. I mean, there's a lot of limitations the dog has, food, water, going to the bathroom, exercise, just sleeping.
Taking it everywhere you go, a pain in the ass.
I mean, having to wake it up to make sure you don't die of diabetes, like just by that.
Yeah. It just seems like a bigger pain in the ass than the digital tester kit.
Unless you can
pocket.
fit that German Shepherd in your pocket, I'd go with the pocket tester. Let's try this one.
Hey, Tom, Dan, and Sam. Jason from Ohio.
New
Is it just me, or is there some sexual tension between Tom and Sam? Because here lately it seems a little tense. I'll hang up and listen.
Big old tents.
So
I'd like to hear some examples of what makes you think that, sir.
He told you. He heard the tenseness in the voice.
Is it your Photoshop idea?
No, it's
the
just
silhouette challenge?
It's my awkwardness, and that is coming from the root of lawsuits, not sexual tension.
Right.
Root of lawsuits.
No, that is coming from where I expect this audio to be played in some sort of court hearing.
I'll never let them get it.
And then, it's out there already.
Don't worry about it.
It's out.
They'll have to kill me.
No, but
look,
they can just record it themselves.
Every scenario I get in, shoot my way out. Everyone.
So that awkwardness and me bumbling around, you're misconstruing as sexual.
And then I just go.
tenseness.
I just slam special needs right on it, and they're fine.
The awkwardness you're hearing is lawsuit, court awkwardness. That's what you're hearing.
Awkwardness.
It's where you're walking the tightrope of like, could I,
Well, Tom's
lose
awkward
everything?
about sexual things anyway.
Yeah.
And that's really what you're hearing. You know what I want to see that would really be a human anomaly and would really impress me? The Wallendas. Not impressive to me. But big fat Walenda, that's impressive to me. 300-pound Walenda, dude, I'm telling you.
I don't
Sumo Walenda.
I don't think she could walk on the tightrope. That makes it harder, I think, if you're carrying extra weight.
Oh, I know it makes it harder, but you would have to be stronger. It's still possible.
Remember that Facebook video of...
I think everybody can do everything. We should open up everything to everything. Why limit tightrope walking to just those that are fit?
Look up fat guy does parkour.
I love that guy. Yeah, this guy's great.
So maybe this is along the same theory, but like this guy looks like he used to be hardcore into parkour.
Hardcore into parkour?
Yeah. Then he knew how to do all the jump flips and the wall walks and all the things. And then,
I go on Wawa walks when I want to sub.
He maybe had some bout of
gout.
Yeah, problem. There may be some
some
medication. Anyway, he looks like he took 5 to 7 years off and then ate hard.
Yeah.
And then kind of let his hair, like it seemed like he had early male
kind of has like
pattern.
a bozo.
Yeah, he had early. And then someone was like, "Hey, can you still do the flips?" And he's like, "Yeah, I think so." And he's like, "What would be funny if you did the flips now with a bozo and all fat, and then you'd be an internet sensation." And he did it, and he was. I don't know if he got it.
Yeah, this
is a sensation.
He is a sensation.
It was Fat Guy Does Parkour.
Yeah, a lot of people call him Bob from Tekken 6, or they call him Awesome Fat Guy 2016.
And so he just let his hair grow out, so he has a full bozo, and then...
It's pretty nimble.
Yeah.
All right.
So, you know what I'm saying?
He kind of looks like your friend. He looks like your friend that played in your band.
Dom?
He's got a little domness.
Yes. Oh, that's when he was skinny.
Yeah, look at how fit he was.
Oh,
he's doing really good. He's doing really good. That's 2010 parkour. This guy's Flip Crazebo.
Yeah, so wasn't even that. When was this video put out?
This
16?
was 2016.
6 years later.
Yeah.
6 years later, he's
fat,
he's fat as hell.
Yeah.
He's still pretty
He's still good as hell.
Yeah,
I think he uses his belly
as
like a fulcrum.
Well, the muscle memory's still there.
The jumps aren't as high.
Yeah. Well, it's
and he's only in basketball shorts now.
He
kind of looks
like
jeans.
He looks like the rapper I like, big fat white guy. He's losing a lot of weight now.
So it's
That
kind
could
of
be a lot of guys.
It's like if you were a break dancer and then you just quit, and then 6 years later you got fat, and then you had male pattern baldness, and then someone was like, "I bet you could still do a windmill. It'd be funnier now if you let your hair grow out, full Costanza and fat, and did a fat windmill." And then that's impressive.
Let me ask you guys: Is there
can still do it.
Is there an element of like what this guy's doing with the basketball shorts? Because it's a bit of it. It is a bit of a put on. When you looked at the other videos when he was doing parkour, he was dressed in like sweats, athletic shoes, a nice hoodie. Like not dressed up, but not dressed for not parkour. In these other videos, he's wearing sloppy tank top and basketball shorts. You can tell
He's trying to look sloppy.
Right, a little sloppier.
Because that adds to the video.
Is there an element of that in new culture and dad hats and the way that kids like dress? Is there always an element of like ultra casual?
It's just a cycle of fashion.
But the dad hat to me is almost like there's like a sloppiness to it, like a relaxability to it.
You gave up. You don't care about fashion.
Right.
That's
fashion doesn't mean I'm not trying hard, but this is my fashion.
Yeah, that's the stereotypical dad. It's the cargo shorts, the big white Seinfelds, the nerd hat.
Why does that always integrate itself? Every couple of years, you'll see in pop culture young teen boys and girls wearing what their dad wears and thinking it's cool. Why? Every few years,
it's
that
like
is a
retro
cycle.
look.
But it's always the dad. You don't dress like an old mom, do you?
Yes, they do.
They?
Mom jeans and high-waisted shorts are literally the popular thing.
Okay, all right. Yeah,
high
you're right.
waist. I hate that high-waisted shorts.
Oh, I like it. I like it.
I used to make fun of...
put it right under your boobs.
I don't like that. I used to make fun of Crystal back in the 90s. She used to have her jeans hiked up, and I'm like, why are your pants so high, Urkel? And I do the old Urkel joke.
I love it.
And that was...
She'd pull them down and say, no, I'm
No.
Esteban.
It was just... Like she had to wear them like that because if she pulled them down, like it would be baggy crotch.
You know,
No, I was saying like, and I used to make fun of it because I was like, this looks odd. But now it's like the fashion thing. Like, back when I used to.
Well, you put your weight like there's a bit of debate for many years, even in my family, of where your waist is at, and your waist is not right here.
Right.
Yeah.
This is your waist.
Yeah. Around your belly button.
Yeah.
Like old men wear their pants hiked up.
And they wear them I wouldn't say correctly because whatever, your style's your style.
But how they're
traditionally, you could say traditionally.
How they're designed to be worn.
Yeah. My cousin, WH, who's like a proper tobacco market selling man, Harley Davidsons and buying talks like Dan Lee, everything is a lot of mercy and I declare is going to be deep voice like that. And he wears his pants right on
his waist.
On his belly button.
Yeah.
And he, every day at 5:30, he will have a Sprite. And I believe he's drinking Early Times. He'll have a Sprite and Early Times. One of those, he'll read 2 political memes and then go to bed.
To me, though, if you got your pants hiked up to your belly button, right? If you unzip your pants,
you scratch your belly button.
It's just going to be your belly, right?
Yeah.
And your genitals are too far down, right? How are you using your fly?
I would imagine you'd push your pants down, unzip, do your business, zip up, pull your pants up.
Okay, that seems...
I know.
It doesn't seem like
it's wrong.
It's like the right way to wear your pants. If you unzip your fly and it's just your belly, you should unzip your fly to your genitals.
Reach in and pull it out the top.
Well, if you unzip at any point, if you unzip my dad's pants, like if you pop quiz and you unzipped his pants, there would be a necktie in front, then a shirt, a dress shirt, then a yellow stained V-neck Hanes t-shirt with coffee and all kinds of assorted dad stains on it. Then a pair of tighty-whitey yellow-stained bulldog cheek baggers, which are floppy underwear.
Is that yellow-stained underwear hiked up too high?
Oh, everything. And then you'd have to pull that down. Then you'd get to what appears to be Bob Ross's beard. That's my dad.
Oh. Anyway, why is that a fashion thing for like the co-eds, the girls, to wear the shorts so high?
I do.
I like things come in cycles, man.
Do people look at that and be like, "Wow, that's hot"? Is it why your pants?
Well,
so
they
high?
don't say it like that. They usually say like, "That's hot."
Well, I think people of that generation do.
Ooh, that's
odd though, because
Sam's being
to
racist.
me it would be.
Dude who flies in here again.
Yeah, I know. Butler opened the door. I told him not to open the door.
Jesus.
Let's play another.
I've got him incubating in there. All right. Let's see. Let's go with, oh man, Jim from Lakeland, Sam, coming in hot.
Tom and Dan Butler and Sam. Jim from Lakeland here. A recent recurring topic on the show has been wedding photography, so I'll share my wedding photography story. It was the spring of 1991, and I asked my honey if she would like to be my bride, and she said the two words I wanted to hear. She said, "I guess."
This guy is...
I need to talk to Jim.
He's the best. I mean, just that joke alone put a smile on my face when I was sitting here. He made my morning caller of the week.
Has Jim seen atrocities?
I think so.
But
nobody can be that sweet without have kill a man. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like this guy can be like authentically kind because he's murdered someone in self-defense.
Also, the Jim from Lakeland, like, is he does he get real perverted in the bedroom? Like,
No.
or is he like,
that is the
Jim from
last
Lakeland.
that is the absolute last question I would have ever thought would fall out of your mouth.
Well, because you assume that
I'm with you. Yeah, this guy
you know.
sounds like a sex swing guy.
No.
well, I assume that he's
can
gonna
hear
be
it.
super vanilla, like
no.
his wife up
He
in a
doesn't
bag.
talk about it.
But when he gets down to it, he's
Yeah.
like super
Well,
horny.
my grandfather never talked about the time that he spent in the war, but my grandma said he was very decorated. You know what I mean? He's shooting them out of the sky. You know what I mean? He was a killing machine. That's what it means.
Well, yeah. That's when you don't talk about
Yeah,
it.
that's what I'm saying. So yes, Jim doesn't talk about any of the bad stuff.
He's a gentleman.
He's a gentleman. We'll continue.
So we had a year to plan the Redneck Gala of the decade. So in that time, she had a $1,000 custom dress made.
Wow.
She had very ugly bridesmaids dresses made, which was customary at the time. They had shoulder pads that made the girls' heads and bosoms look a little smaller than they should. Me and the boys rented tuxedos with the pockets sewn shut and the shoes too big. So the only thing we didn't have lined up was a wedding photographer. So my future sister-in-law recommended a friend of hers who she said was a professional photographer. We contacted him and got his services for $1,200, and he assured us that he was indeed a professional photographer. Come the day of the wedding, he took the pictures, and everything went off about as normal as it could for a Florida redneck wedding. And so a week or two later, he contacted us, and we met him to look at the pictures and buy the neck. Artsy fartsy, my wife. Kiss the Bride Kiss. He had arms and all that sort of thing. And all the pictures looked a little odd. He didn't get a picture of the You May Now Kiss the Bride Kiss. He had odd angles, strange close-ups, and it was all very artsy-fartsy. My wife really didn't want the pictures, but I paid the guy anyway, and kind of like Tom, I didn't want any conflict, so he got paid and we got all the ugly pictures. And at the time there was no internet to look this guy up and find out what the heck kind of photography he was, but eventually did find out that he was a professional photographer for Aquarium Fancy magazine. His entire career was based on photographing tropical fish, and I think ours was either the first or second wedding he had ever photographed. So there is our wedding photographer story. Love you guys. Take care. Bye-bye.
I need to get him a podcast. I need to get Jim a podcast because there's something about his voice that...
He sounds exactly like Craig from Pyrospot.
Well, there's an ASMR quality to his voice that's very pleasing to my ears.
Wet mouth.
Yeah, there's a little bit of I don't know, maybe it's just the way just the way he speaks. There's a naturalness
good
to
cadence.
it. Yeah, I love it. I love it.
Little Ned Flanders.
Yeah, little Oakley Dokley in there.
Yeah.
What's weird?
It's great, man. I love you, Jim.
Is you would think that if you are a professional photographer, even if it is just fish,
But everybody is a professor.
Yep.
Well, no,
that too.
No, but
a
I'm saying-
professional photographer.
Yeah, of course.
I can't talk today.
I see.
That's good for
I know what you mean.
Photographer.
But I'm saying this person's job was photographing fish, and that was his profession. That's how he made a living,
All right, Jerry, just pretend the fish are in tuxedos.
Well,
you
so
idiot.
to
You
me,
can do this.
Like, I understand if you were an amateur photographer and you just did this as a hobby, and then this was your first break into being paid.
Redcoat's branching out into photography.
And we've all seen that, and you get better and better. But you would think if you knew how to take pictures of fish and you worked with cameras for your job, you could translate it over to get by with a wedding, right? Like, how much different could it be? Like, how the camera works. I feel like a lot of photography is understanding your equipment, right?
Yeah, and there's rules of thirds
And some
just
angles.
yeah,
Yeah.
but like for
Lighting.
instance, yesterday or Sunday, I think our friend Tuttle went out with another good friend of ours,
Naomi Bradshaw.
Naomi Bradshaw, and Tuttle took some photos of her. They're actually really good, and I believe he just used his phone. So I don't know the answer to your question because I'm not a photographer, but I will say that the latest photos that Tuttle took, and I'm just using a real world example. If I showed them to you, you'd be like, "Oh, these are good." So my question is, I guess going along with you, I think you would have to be like maybe trying too hard.
That's
or,
what I think.
Or being
yeah.
nervous or overthinking it in order to truly fail as bad as Jim described.
Yeah.
Jim's also not a liar. I feel
I gotta
so-
see these photos, Jim.
Yeah, but Jim also keeps an element of mystery to his
Email
calls.
us.
So,
He's emailed us before.
Maybe just one,
Yeah.
Jim.
I guess the thing that makes me mad is when things don't make sense. And I know that we talk about this all the time, but I'm like, why isn't the guy why isn't he better?
All photography
Why?
is not the same.
True.
It's much like if there's somebody that's on the radio. Maybe they can introduce some songs and talk a few little news clips in between
Same as
songs, but
Drunky
they
the
can't
Bear.
do a talk show like you guys do.
But I feel like they should be able to do it better than the person that doesn't have that job. See what I'm saying? Like,
And maybe they did it better than someone that hasn't taken photos of fish, but it still wasn't up to par with wedding photos.
Yeah. It may have been like too I think Dan is right. You tried too
He's got
hard.
a fish lens. You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
I think maybe you get nervous, right? I mean, it's kind of like what we. Never mind. I'm not going to tell that story. I think we did this once to Mo.
Don't do it.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about that. We did a series of videos for him, and we said we knew what we were doing. And
No, those came out fine. But that's what I'm talking about. It's like we were able now. Could have a professional videographer that specializes in lawyer videos do better than us? Yes, but why were we able to at least get it? Like it was fine, and even Mo would be like,
I
"Yeah,
think
you'd be
Mo
like."
just gave you guys charity money. At
That's
that
what
point.
I
He was
think.
just like, they
That's what I
tried.
thought.
One
That's
day.
what I thought.
No,
Poor
but
thing.
I watched them, and there's like, all right,
Yeah,
it's good.
but you don't know what's good.
do you want?
How dare you?
Do you want a real world example that might make you rethink the way you think of me?
Yes.
I went and got my hard drive after working with Mo and checked those videos to see what they look like because I was so concerned about it. I dug it up out of our old Tom and Dan closet. It's like,
What do you want to look at them for?
I
Just
wanted
see if
to
they're
see
good?
if they're okay. And I watched them, and I felt a lot better after watching them. They're not that bad.
It's just a standard question and
I know,
answer.
but I was really worried.
Bye-bye.